Okay, Dave, we should get this podcast recorded. It's getting pretty late. We need to get it done so we can get it edited. And Dave. Hey.
Wait, what?
What are you doing?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. I was listening to my JBL Club Pro Plus True Wireless in-ear headphones with noise cancellation technology.
Ooh.
I couldn't hear a word you were saying.
Yeah, because I just speak noise.
I know, thanks to our good friends over at JBL for sending them to me. I was actually thinking after the podcast we could maybe listen to some tunes on our JBL Extreme 3, which has just been released, also from our good friends at JBL. Thanks to our friends at JBL for sponsoring the channel and the podcast and all that for this month.
Awesome.
Fantastic. Let's get into it.
Oh, cool.
Let's do it.
Yep, good.
Eat my shorts.
Oh, I got water on the desk. I got water on the mixer. Oh, no. Right. It didn't get into it. Ah, jeez. Hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Dave Lee Down Under podcast. I'm, of course, your host, Dave Lee. This is episode 29. Can't believe it. 29 episodes. We had a bit of a near disaster coming in. We didn't do a regular show last week, so I've forgotten what to do. Come in, spill the water everywhere, got on the mixer desk a little bit. Oh, I forgot to unmute you again. Hang on.
You want to try it again?
No, we'll just keep going. Jesus. I'm all
We
over
can
the
just sort
place.
of walk out now and come back in and do
Okay, let's just do it again. All right. All right,
Headphones
guys. Yep. Keep the music going. You ready? Oh, headphones off. All right, you ready? Oh! Oh, no! Oh, it's a disaster! It's a disaster! No! Oh, jeez. Oh, Christ. Oh, we shouldn't have done that. Oh, those watching are getting the full experience out there. We've had a disaster. We're going to try and... Oh, I'm stepping on ice now. Jesus, shit. Fucking hell, man. He's got up to do the intro again. Knocked the microphone off the desk.
Yeah.
The water's gone everywhere. The water's gone with it.
I tripped on the headphone cable.
Fucking hell, man. All right, we'll just leave it. Let's just sit down. Oh, my gosh.
Keep going.
What an intro. Right, okay, you want to do it again? Fucking hell. What are you doing? What are you doing? What?
Just find something to clean the water
he's
up.
all right, I'll run it. I'll run the ship. You go and get a towel or something. Fucking hell, man. Fucking disaster. This is what I'm saying. I haven't fucking been off the air for shit. Righto. You can join me every single Monday here on the podcast. The podcast goes out on all major podcasting platforms. It includes Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon, and Audible. The visual elements available to view on YouTube, same day on the Monday. But if you're a patron supporter, you get that on 2-day early access on the Saturday, which... Oh, jeez. So if you want the early access, you can head over to patreon.com/Dave Lee Down Under. For as little as $1 a month, you can get that early access. Of course, the video podcasts have been migrated over to a new channel now, which is the Dave Lee Down Under podcast channel. You can find me on YouTube at Dave Lee Down Under, the regular channel, over on Twitter, Instagram, links in the description of every single podcast. You want to write into the show, daveleepod@gmail.com. And if you're listening on the podcasting platforms, you could please leave a review and a rating.
The rating at the start of that was probably 0. Yeah. That was hilarious.
Jesus. Well, you just done it, and you're back in time for the music to finish, so well done.
Well, there you go.
Fucking hell.
Oh, buggered now.
How you going?
Well, that was a bit of a disaster.
Yeah.
It's only water, so it wasn't so bad. It's not going to do any damage as this lands on the mixer board or something.
Luckily, it didn't go all over the board.
Covered my phone, but they're waterproof these days. So.
Luckily. And it was in a case.
No, it's not in the case today.
Oh, shit. I think a case over there.
Yeah,
Anyway.
no. It would have destroyed the case, probably.
Probably, yeah.
Probably better it wasn't in the case.
Well, you're lucky.
Well, there you go.
There you go. That's a
Bit of a disaster to the start.
Yeah, have fun.
And you get to see it all. We didn't edit it out.
No, I
this time.
didn't edit it out. Just kept going. Could be
Kept it in
fucked. Jesus Christ.
Ah, well. We're human.
Yeah.
Well,
Wow. To an extent.
some would argue to a point.
Anyway,
was funny.
as I say, you can leave.
So what are we doing? What's this episode? What?
This is episode 29.
29. Ooh,
Well,
Jesus.
technically, it's episode 30 if you count that
Nah,
pilot.
forget the technical bit.
Episode 29 of the show proper.
Yeah.
Like I always say, you can leave a review. You can leave a review on the podcast platforms. 'Cause
Only
it does
good
help.
ones.
Only the good ones.
Don't want the shit ones.
You can leave them, and someone did this week actually.
Ooh.
Um,
What, left the shit one or?
no, they left a good one, but it's so good that if you'd gone on there and you read this, you'd think these fucking dodgy bastards
They're
have
paying
set,
$20
set up.
to put it up.
Yeah, we've either paid someone to do it, or we've created a burner account and left it there ourselves. It's from Ollie's TF 9081. The subject was, "It's so good."
Ooh.
And then he writes, "Literally my favourite podcast ever, starring the incredible Dave Lee," it's me, and co-starring old mate Rick.
It's me.
It's you over there. "Please listen to this podcast. It's awesome."
Ah, it's nice.
That's a very nice one. Thank you very much. Ollie's TF 19081.
You see, I told you I can write.
Yeah. Oh, that's a nice one. Yeah. So if you want to spam the Apple, wherever you leave the reviews, I think it's the Apple one. Yeah, well, it is.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely is. Yeah, I know that for sure. You can go and just spam really nice ones like that. But don't say I told you to do it. Because I'm not telling you to do it. I'm not telling you to do it. Don't do it.
No, not allowed to do that.
Don't do it. Can't tell you to do that. Don't do it. It's been a busy week for me, as always.
Yeah, it has been.
Very busy.
Not for me.
You've been
I've had a
chilling.
pretty slack week this week. I've been a little bit crook.
Well, yeah, last time we were on the podcast, you were saying that you were feeling like you're about to come down with a cold.
Yeah.
And we're making a joke. Oh, could be COVID. Could be COVID.
So we finished up going to get a COVID
Yeah,
test.
we did.
Because I come down with a bit of a cold and I've just got back into it now. So it's been a couple of weeks.
And if you heard the news this morning, there's one new case of COVID in Melbourne, apparently.
God,
and
here we go again.
it's not old mate Rick.
No, it's not me.
No. But yeah, there's one in the public now. So let's see what happens. But anyway, we were all fine. We went and we did our due diligence and you got
video. Got video.
I
of
did
you
put
giving
video
it
of
fun.
it. Yeah, I'll put that over the top.
Yeah.
If you like, yeah. If you want to see old mate Rick get a thing stuck
Oh,
up his nose.
did you
I filmed you, yeah, and I filmed me as well. So I'll put.
I
I'll run that
filmed
over the top.
you. I filmed you and you filmed me.
You film. Yeah, well,
So,
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah,
Whatever.
yeah. So that was fun. There's a second time we've done it as well.
Yeah. Oh, first one was awful.
First was terrible. This one wasn't as bad.
They stuck that thing right up your
Yeah,
back of your eyeball.
this time they didn't go up as far.
No.
I don't think.
No, it was good.
Because she went in there and then pulled that out, and that was it. I was like, oh shit, you're done. Yeah, next one. Oh, done. I was waiting. I was like, bracing myself for it to go all the way up. And then, no, it's only just like there.
Because that first one felt like she was sticking on the back of the eyeball.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
awful.
Oh, boy.
Awful. So, yeah, we did that. We got our results back the next day, and we were fine. But
We're all clear.
yeah, we're fine. That's 2 weeks ago now.
I've just finished up with a bit of a cough.
Yeah, you've had a cough. Well, that happened to me when I got really sick over in the UK. Remember, I had a really bad cold.
Yeah,
I had
that's
like
right.
3 colds in a row.
Uh.
I'd get better, then I'd get another cold, and I'd get better again. And then I just had this lingering cough for months. It had to be like 6 months.
Well, you know what I'm like. I barely ever catch colds or flus or anything.
Yeah.
When last cold I had a bit of one early last year. I think I had a bit of a cold.
Yeah.
But prior to that, I reckon I hadn't had one for probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 years maybe.
Easy.
But sometimes when I get them, they get me.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
But it was only a bit of a head cold and stuff, and I was just doing a bit of sneezing, a bit of coughing, and
Yeah, it was like me.
had no temperature or anything like that. Just felt tired.
Well, I had it first, but I was over it in 2 days.
Yeah.
Out,
Both you
done,
and Mum.
Yeah, we all had it. That was fun.
I've had it and had it for, I think Mum had it for about 4 days. You had it for 2 or 3 days, and
yeah, crazy, man.
I've had it. Well, yeah, had it for a couple of weeks probably. Just the well, the worst of it was last week, early last week.
Yeah,
this week's just the dregs. Just
lovely.
the coughing and
The fun
that sort of
stuff.
stuff.
So, yeah, you've been just chilling around since, and then I've been just doing my normal shit. Oh, I forgot to hook you.
No, you hooked it on.
It flew off, right.
In the disastrous opening.
Oh, yeah, I did see it. I did see it on the floor. I was thinking, did I not? Anyway, yeah, I had a few sort of early mornings. Oh, it's under the desk. Hang on a minute. I'll get it. Let me just take this under here. Oh, it's just there. I'll take this under the desk so that there's no dead air, as they say in the business. Yeah, there we go. Okay, got you.
Awesome.
If you're listening, you're probably confused what the hell is going on. This is a very unprofessional episode. There's ice on the table. There's ice on the table, and it's making like a little puddle of you.
And we're talking about frozen water.
Yeah, I know. Have you got that like tissue or something? I can.
Yeah.
Because it's starting to be a little puddle on the desk.
Got to be careful because I might do it again.
Oh, no. Shit. Oh, there we go. Thanks. Yeah, well, this has been productive. Let's just get this up or else it'll damage the table anyway.
There we go.
Behind the scenes.
We should be right now.
Should be. I'll get that out of there. Right.
Then again, anything can happen.
Yeah, well, yeah.
As we're just saying.
I was busy doing videos. I did some interviews this week, which was fun.
You had an early morning one, didn't you?
It was like 9:30. It was like 9:30. It was going to be 6:30, and then they managed to get it pushed for me.
Yeah.
When they called me, they said, "Do you mind doing 6:30?" I was like, "No, totally fine. Happy to do it. Happy to do whenever." And then she emailed me back. She was like, "I've been able to get them to push it." Yes, thank you very much.
It's nice.
So you can get a sleep in, she said. I said, "Thank you. I appreciate that." I wouldn't have mind either way.
No, that's right.
But yeah, that was nice. So I did a couple of interviews. We'll play one later in the show, and we'll talk about the other one sort of briefly too.
What's the one with what's his name?
Rob Paulson.
Rob Paulson. That was awesome.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one.
He seemed to enjoy it too.
Yeah.
Nice little. That was like what last week's podcast.
Last week's podcast. Yeah. Well, because they emailed me. His PR agent emailed me and said, "Oh, I know you're a fan of animation. Do you know Rob Paulson?" I was like,
"Who doesn't?"
Yeah. And she was like, "Oh, I can organise 45 minutes with you to chat with him and whatever.
Talk
about whatever you want." I was like, "Oh," because I said, "How long do I get?" And she was like, "Is 45 minutes enough?" I was like, "Jesus," because that's the longest one I've done.
Yeah.
And I thought, "Fuck, that's long." Sometimes you do one that's like 5 minutes and it just breezes. Other times it can be an eternity. It depends on the person.
Yeah.
Whether the person's giving you good answers or whether they give you really shitty answers. Luckily, I haven't had any that give me shitty answers, but sometimes you get someone who's maybe just not talkative or chatty, and it makes it feel like
monosyllabic.
And you're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm running out of questions now." So I thought, but I said to him, "What can I talk to him about?" And she said, "Whatever you want." I said, "All right, 45 minutes will be good then. I'll dive into whatever."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Just touch on Animaniacs Live. If you want to talk about his book, if you want to talk about the
health
cancer,
issues,
the cancer awareness, the autism awareness, whatever." She's like, "Just do whatever you want."
That was awesome.
Yeah, so I just got free reign to just sort of, I don't even really know why it happened. They just sort of, I think it was just like a PR push for whatever, and I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. It's hard to know. Maybe it wasn't really his book. His
book came out 2 years ago.
Yeah, so it wasn't his book he's pushing. It was maybe more Animaniacs.
I think it was the Animaniacs because they've just done, because the season 1 was last year, and it was only just announced that they're doing season 3. They produced 1 and 2 together.
And he was, in fact, he was off to record that day, wasn't he?
Crazy, yeah.
With, as he said, Mr. Spielberg.
Crazy,
pretty awesome.
Crazy stuff. Yeah, so that was good. If you missed that was because it was originally going to be just an interview, and then there was some mention of podcast in the later emails. And I thought, I'll present some of it as like part of the podcast, and then I'll do the video, and I'll just sort of cross-platform. But the interview went so well, I thought, fuck it, I'm just going to make that this week's podcast.
That worked well. Worked really
last
good.
week, and it saved us from he gave us a week off from doing one of these.
And he seemed like a really nice fella.
He was fantastic. Yeah, it was really, really lovely.
Yeah, really open and happy to.
Very surprised.
Happy to talk about anything, wasn't he?
It's almost like talk about whatever you want.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's worth a listen if you haven't seen it, get on and have a look at it or listen to it or whatever.
Yeah, there's a video on YouTube. Otherwise, the whole audio is last week's episode of the podcast. So check that out if you want.
It was good. It's worth it.
I enjoyed it. I had fun with that. He was fantastic. He was really, really good.
Pretty genuine sort of bloke too.
Yeah. Very humble. And
pretty humble, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was good.
It was very good.
Enjoyed
that.
Enjoyed that.
So it was like 3 interviews in a row I did last week, because that one with Rob was last Wednesday or last Thursday, last Thursday morning, and then on Monday I had my next 2 interviews were both on Monday.
On Monday, yeah, that's right.
So I was like trying to navigate that. So I had one at 9:30, and then I had one at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So that was a fun day. A very fun day.
You're going to present one of them today?
We're going to present one of them today.
Can't do the second one.
Can't do the second one because it's still under embargo. Actually, I think I can release it, but the PR agent I've been doing was just like, just hold off on it for until week of release.
Yep.
Because it becomes less relevant if you load it earlier.
Yeah.
I would have done that anyway, I think, because even particularly for me, uploading content that's not relevant, you know. So we'll talk about that. Anyway, it's been 2 weeks we've been off. We've actually watched quite a bit of stuff. Well, I have anyway. So let's go over like 2 weeks worth of stuff I've been watching. We'll try and get through it pretty quickly because there's some random shit in here. I watched a bunch of like older stuff. I don't know why. Because I've got...
so look, before we move on,
what?
We got football this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
I just wanted to mention this.
Yeah.
And it's the biggest home and away game of the season in the whole competition. Collingwood versus Henson.
Yeah.
Anzac Day game.
Yeah.
And it's Anzac, ANZAC is Australian and New Zealand Army Corps. And it's I don't know, really, it's a celebration. It's a commemoration, a recognition of our Anzacs from the First World War. And they were the Australian and New Zealand Army. Who combined, and because the New Zealanders and Australians were like cousins, really close cousins, and I just wanted to mention that and just say that thanks to the old diggers, the old Anzacs, and those that remember those that lost their lives and those that came home, we celebrate, and those that are currently serving. I just wanted to mention that. And that was, and those who don't know, Anzac Day is Sunday the 25th. 25th, isn't it? Yeah. I always get that confused, 25th, 26th.
25th.
So Sunday the 25th of April, and it's our celebration of our servicemen and women. Just like what the Americans have, they have... it's Veterans Day or something?
Veterans Day and Memorial Day or whatever. There's a few of them.
What do the Brits have?
Oh, I don't know.
The Brits do one too, don't they?
Yeah, like obviously. Remembrance Day is the big one.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So thanks to all our service people around the world that look after our freedom and our way of life.
So we're going to the game to celebrate.
We're going to the game to celebrate.
Should I tell them the story of trying to get tickets?
And it's going to be I saw on the radio on the television earlier that it will be the largest crowd at any sporting or at any event anywhere in the world since the pandemic. Oh. There is 85,000 allowed in.
Gosh, it's crazy. That's going to be.
They probably won't get 85, but they could very well because we haven't had it for a couple of years. So.
Yeah, well, the stadium fits 100,000, so it's not full capacity,
right.
But geez, it's going to be insane. So we're there awesome. In the bleachers.
We're up the top. We had good tickets though, but.
We did have good tickets, but the fucking Ticketmaster or whoever it was, Ticket Tech. Was it Ticket Tech?
It was Ticket Tech. Because Ticketmaster is the other
It's the normal one, yeah.
And that was easy to get tickets through.
And the whatever we used was a fucking disaster. The other one's been really easy to kind of get our tickets. But then this one, we're members of Essendon, so we usually get home games.
And that's what this is.
But because of this year... we've had to reserve seats because it's not been full capacity. And it's been really easy to do it until this week. And usually, you go and you buy your tickets and it gives you 10-minute window to get your tickets and you put them in your cart and then it should give you
They're just the badges we buy every year.
Yeah.
At the games.
Mm-hmm. What was I saying?
Getting the tickets.
Fucking hell, I've lost my train of thought.
Normally it's easy to get tickets.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know where it was. Fucking hell.
Normally we have our membership.
Well, yeah,
Normally
no,
we have
I've done all that.
membership
I've done that.
tickets
Yeah. You get onto one of these websites when you're buying tickets. They give you like a 10-minute window, and then you get your tickets. You put them in your cart, and usually they'll add like a couple of minutes to allow you to check out.
Yeah, each step you go
But this
through.
thing, because the queue was so long on it, we had to get on really early. So I was lucky to get into the website about 12 minutes before tickets went on sale. By the time I got in there, got the tickets, added them to the cart, didn't allow me any extra time.
You needed about 3 seconds more.
I needed like 3 more seconds because you have to fill in all this information. You have to give all the names of all the people who are going.
And all the phone
after you've already
numbers
given, the phone numbers, after you've already given the barcodes from your membership cards. I had to fill in the address and fucking all this bullshit. And then I was just at the bit where I was typing in. I had like 2 minutes to do this. I was just at the bit where I was typing in the credit card, the number on the back of the credit card. I was about to hit enter and it fucking timed me out. And we had tickets in the goal square, like almost right down the front.
Yep.
And then it took us, we couldn't get back on, but I was lucky because I'd tried to load up my phone earlier and the phone had gone through. So we did it on the phone and we wound up with tickets right up in the bleachers,
the
like
top.
Literally right up the back. Top level up the back. Well, it'll be all right.
We'll be
Anyway,
here.
we're 20 minutes in now.
Let's move
So
on.
let's
Sorry,
move-
I just had to mention that.
You're right.
I just
Yeah,
had
it's
to
good.
Thank
It's good. It's good.
Our service people.
Yeah, lovely. So yeah, that'll be Sunday. We'll be celebrating that. I'm
Awesome.
excited. I'm excited for it.
Very,
Always love the
very
Anzac
excited.
game. So anyway, as I was saying earlier, shit we've watched. I'll go through this really quick because it's just a bunch of random stuff. You hear him coughing off the side
Just
there.
occasionally. Yeah.
I got into I've got like 2 piles of shit I need to watch. There's my regular pile. Well, we got like 3 piles. I've got like the pile of stuff I need to watch for the stuff that gets sent in to me to watch and review. That's priority. And then I go to my second pile, which is like my main pile, which is like hundreds of things I haven't watched. And it's more recent stuff, like maybe like 1980s onward. And then I've got like fucking hundreds of these classic films. I have hundreds and hundreds of them. I haven't even moved many of them over to the normal pile just yet because I'm just like, I want to get this stuff out of the way, and then I'll spend like 5 years of my life just going through like old films. I'll be fine with that. Anyway, but this week I decided to dive into the old pile for one reason or another. Because I recently bought The Lady Killers, the original version, not the Tom Hanks one. This is the original one, which has Sir Alec Guinness and what's his name? Peter Sellers. Fantastic. I'd never seen it.
Yeah, it's good.
I was like, I have to watch it because like one of the most they reckon it's like the best English comedy of all time or one of.
It's pretty good.
It was one of the Ealing comedies. Oh, it's amazing. So good. I really loved it. So I just as soon as I got that, I was like, I have to watch that. So I watched that, really loved it. I'd highly recommend it. It's just come out on Blu-ray. I believe there's a 4K of it in the UK as well. And then as a result of that, last year I bought one called Kind Hearts and Coronets, which is also an Ealing comedy with Sir Alec Guinness playing like 8 different characters.
I don't know if I remember that one.
He's like, there's this guy and his mother's like an aristocrat, but the family's done her over. And when she dies, they refuse to bury her with the rest of the aristocratic people in the family, and they just bury her in like a dodgy cemetery. So he decides he's going to go and kill everyone that stands in his way of the line of succession. And each of the 8 people is played by Alec Guinness. Amazing.
God.
So good. It's surprisingly, for a guy that plays 8 characters in the film, he's not in it very much.
Really?
Yeah, but he's amazing. Each one of the characters is just so different. and
Appears
just,
on screen, gets killed, gets buried.
pretty much. So it's really good, though. Very, very good. So if you can seek that one out, seek it out for sure. I also watched one called A Matter of Life and Death while I was on a roll. This is a British film as well, made kind of early 1940s, I believe probably 1943. It was a Powell and Pressburger film. This is my first one of theirs that I've seen. I've got a whole bunch of their movies that I haven't watched yet. They did like Life and Death of Colonel Blimp, The Red Shoes, a bunch of these other kind of like drama, fantasy kind of comedy kind of things. And this one had David Niven in it. I can't remember the name of the female that was in it. I don't know if I've really seen her in much. But again, this is another one of those movies where they say it's like one of the greatest British films ever made. And oh man, it was fantastic. Like an easy 5-star effort for me.
Kim Hunter.
Kim Hunter, yeah. This one, I think I'd seen her in one other thing. If you click on it, I think it comes up like one of the top top things is like I'd seen her in something. Oh, a streetcar. Yeah, she was Stella in A Streetcar Named Desire.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Oh, she's terrific. Anyway, this thing has
She's in the 68 version of Planet of the Apes too.
Yeah, she did all the Planet of the Apes. Yeah, I didn't remember her. She was probably one of the apes, so she was probably like makeup, covered in makeup. I imagine.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she's terrific in it. David Niven's terrific in it as well. Such a gorgeous film. And like, what was this? 1943, I think, or
what's that?
Or was this this one here? Matter of Life and Death.
46.
46. So later 40s. But a lot of it shot in Technicolor. Again, quite rare for them to be shooting in colour in the 40s.
Yeah.
Obviously, Technicolor has been around since like the 20s, but it was still very rare for them to use it in cinema because it was so expensive. You of course got big films that were done in colour and stuff, but it's still very rare. Most of the films from the period were still shot in black and white. This film has black and white sequences and colour sequences. Basically what it is this guy, he's a fighter pilot, and the film opens with him in his plane and the plane's crashing, obviously during World War II, and she is like the rescue response worker who he's talking to over the communication, basically trying to assist him in escaping the plane, whatever, and he's like, no, this is it, I'm going to die. And they strike kind of like a I guess like there's a bit of chemistry there or whatever, and he dies because of the mass fog that has come over this harbour. The otherworldly beings that are running heaven, it's not quite called heaven, but where the afterlife, they don't see him come down, and he somehow manages to escape going to heaven. And he goes and he seeks out her, and they begin this romance, and then once these people in the afterlife discover, oh shit, we're missing one, they go after him. So they catch up with it. I will fucking watch this again. I will watch it again and again and again. This has shot up to like one of my favourite classic films ever, instantaneously. And he's like, I've just fallen in love, please give me extra time. So they're like, okay, we'll give you some extra time to prove yourself and to do whatever you want to do and whatever. It's fantastic.
Got a good rating too, 8.1 on IMDb.
Well, I had never really heard about this, and I remember watching an interview with J.K. Rowling interviewed with Harry Potter, what's his name? Daniel Radcliffe. And she asked him, what's your favourite film of all time? And he said, A Matter of Life and Death. And she said, wow, that's my favourite film too. And that's the first time I'd kind of really heard about it. And more I looked into it, I was like, man, I have to see this movie one day. And they finally released it on Blu-ray in the UK, and I imported it. It's so good, and it's so far ahead of its time. The cinematography in it is gorgeous. They film in black and white and colour. The scenes in the afterlife are in black and white, whereas the scenes on Earth are in colour. Whereas usually you would imagine it would be the other way round. So there were just all these real kind of technological, just things that they did so far ahead of its time. Incredible movie. Anyway, I rambled about that for too long, but I would highly, highly recommend seeking that out.
I have seen it.
It is amazing. I will watch it over and over again. So good. That's like
30 years since I saw it. Probably more.
That's like Casablanca level for me almost. Wow. That is incredible film.
I'm going to have to check it out again.
Yeah, I'll watch it again. I'll watch it over and over. Anyway, what else did I get into? I watched another like classic film this morning, Scarface, the original one from 1930s, which was actually really terrific. I'd never seen it before. Imprint has just released that as part of their latest wave. I watched another Imprint one yesterday called Regarding Henry, which is a Harrison Ford film where he gets shot and then he basically has to relearn how to talk and move, and he goes through like this. He's like a high executive guy who like treats people like shit, and then he goes through, after this accident, he goes through like a life-affirming sort of thing where he becomes a better person. It was good, very schmaltzy and very kind of predictable and hammy and whatever, but I enjoyed it. I also watched Time Cop with my pal JCVD.
Oh, my God.
I think I'm just about had enough now.
Oh, I think I would have had enough after the first 10 minutes of the first one.
I think I've just about had enough. This was very good. I enjoyed this. This is like one of the films where it was actually like one of his, which I'm like, this is actually a really good movie. He's good in it, good story. He's like a time cop. He has to like, there's like all these like people have learned how to time travel. So they create like this a cop agency, whatever, and they kind of go back and forward in time to try and fix these crimes or whatever, and try and get the natural timeline back in order. It's quite good. I like that, but I think I've just about had enough for now of the JCVD. I'm not sure. We'll see. We watched Slapshot.
Great film.
So good.
What a good film that
really
is.
Good. 1977.
Yeah.
This was released. Same year as Star Wars. It's got Paul Newman in it. Still kind of at the height of his...
Yeah.
I think he was like 50, very early 50s, 51 or something in this. Very good. It's like a sports comedy where he's the a player coach of a hockey team. Is that a normal thing for hockey? I think where the coach is a player. I feel like I've heard that before with hockey.
I'm not sure whether it is now, but I'm sure it used to be back in the day.
Yeah.
It was a big thing. I mean,
like,
even our sports here, like football and stuff, we had a lot of playing coaches as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure it was very common up until fairly recently with Slapshot with ice hockey. But
yeah.
That's a 2014 version I pulled up.
Oh. Is it 2 words? Maybe I think it's 1 word. But anyway, it's got Paul Newman in it, and it's very, very good. It's very funny, very good story, all that shit. They're like a really shitty hockey team, and the only way they can find a way to get to the championship is to essentially play as goons and get out there and cause fights. And it's very good film.
That's how I would have played it if I played
that game. Bet you would have. But yeah, Paul Newman's one of my absolute favourites of all time. He's on the wall over there. Cool Hand Luke. Yep. This was actually directed by George Roy Hill, who did Cool Hand Luke and
really?
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Yeah.
Sundance. What a great film.
Yeah, terrific.
It's one of my favourite films.
So all three were obviously George Roy Hill and Paul Newman were in all three of those films too. Just all terrific. Like win-win-win.
Yeah.
This was the only one that didn't have... Did he do...
It was 52.
Did he... No, he didn't do Cool Hand Luke. He did The Sting.
Yeah, The Sting.
So it was The Sting and Butch Cassidy and Slapshot.
Yeah,
I don't remember who did Cool Hand Luke, but I don't think it was George Roy.
Just love the film.
Oh, they're all great. I just love Paul Newman films. Just in general.
Yeah.
So that was fun. Slapshot was a lot of fun. I'd definitely check that out if you can.
Yeah, and particularly if you're into sports films, it's great.
Yeah, so good.
Great film. Really, really good film.
Then after that,
I think even the professional hockey players, even to today, watch that.
Yeah. Well, the DVD cover, or the Blu-ray cover anyway, said one of the best sports comedies of all time, or one of the best sports films of all time. So it's very good. Then we also watched after that, because I had some time, we watched Jabberwocky.
Oh, God.
Which is like same year, actually, as it turned out. It was also made in 1977. Yeah. This is one of This is Terry Gilliam's very first movie he directed by himself. So this was made between Monty Python and the Holy Grail and Monty Python Life of Brian. There was 2 years between each. This is very much like a Holy Grail sort of thing, set in the Middle Ages. And he goes... It's this sort of affable, sort of bumbling... down out of his luck guy, played by Michael Palin from Monty Python. And he goes on this quest to kind of discover himself, and then he gets wrapped up in...
He's just searching for the Holy Grail, really,
pretty
isn't
much,
he?
Yeah. And then he gets mistaken for a prince, and then he winds up getting caught up in like this thing where these people are trying to capture the Jabberwocky, which is this massive creature that's eating everyone.
In the forest,
Yeah. So it's just like one of those comedy of errors sort of things. Very... very Monty Python, but
very Monty
not as funny.
Based on a Lewis Carroll poem.
Well, yeah, it's the poem that opens up the second Alice in Wonderland book.
Oh, is it?
Alice with the Looking Glass, yeah. Because he scattered like poems through the Alice in Wonderland books, the Jabberwocky. So, yeah. But it's good. It's a good film, but it's like very dated.
Oh, yeah.
Very dated, and I feel like it's like an acquired sort of...
Oh, it's very acquired. You've got to be a real Python fan.
Well, yeah, that's really why I wanted to see it, because it's very much those kind of offshoot, that Time Bandits, Baron Munchausen, are the ones that Terry Gilliam did kind of around the same time as Monty Python. They used a lot of the same actors. So this one, Terry Gilliam was in it briefly, and Terry Jones was in it briefly. Baron Munchausen has Eric Idle. And then, what was the other one I just said? Time Bandits has John Cleese and Michael Palin and whatever. Yeah. So they sort of use the same kind of guys, and so they're all very Python-esque.
And they pull in some other well-known British comics like Harry Corbett and a few few others, which is really good.
Yeah. So I enjoyed it, but yeah, I think you do have to be like either a real Terry Gilliam fan, or a Python fan.
Because he's got a really twisted really twisted
very
animation style.
Yeah, because he was a cartoonist.
Yeah, that's right. Well, he was one that did all the animation on Python
stuff. Yeah, obviously we're huge Python fans, so I was like, this is one of the Criterion discs I bought. So I've got to check this out because it's like one of those like little bits of Python history that I've never really watched or never really thing. And then I watched a documentary on it, which was quite interesting as well. Anyway, that's on the Criterion Collection if you want to check that out. And I just bought Time Bandits from Arrow, waiting for that to arrive, and we'll check that one out. And I bought Baron Munchausen actually as well.
I haven't seen that for a long time.
Yeah, we'll watch them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
I think I bought Baron Munchausen for like $3 at JB during a sale a few months back. So, yeah. So I've got all those ones now. I also watched True Crime, which is a film with Clint Eastwood. It's like a late 90s Eastwood film. It's just sort of like he's like a newspaper journalist, like a kind of at the end of his career, who's brought back in to do this human interest story in this guy who says he's been wrongly convicted of a crime and he's on death row and he's about to get the chair and whatever. And so Clint Eastwood's character is hired to come in and just do a human interest story on him, interview him, whatever. But he gets so deep into it that he starts to believe that the guy is innocent and starts to prove, against the wishes of his editor and who is played by James Woods terrifically, and kind of the head of staff who's played by Dennis Leary in a rare kind of dramatic role. And he kind of, against their wishes, he starts to delve deeper into it, trying to prove this guy's innocence. Very good movie. Really, really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. I think it's probably, and I've seen most of the Eastwood stuff at this point, and this is probably up there with some of my favourites. I think I really, really enjoyed this one.
It's only got a 6.6 though.
Yeah, well, apparently it flopped at the box office. It didn't make any money at the box office. No one saw it, but it's very good. I really liked it. Really liked it. I couldn't say as much for the Presidio, which I watched. This has got Sean Connery, and I want to say his name's Mark Harmon. I think he did. He was in one of those. I think he was in one of those crime shows.
Mark Harmon.
Was he in like a Law and Order or like?
No, he was in. What the hell was it? Wasn't it like one of the medical dramas or something?
No, I don't know. I think it was like a CSI or a Law and Order or some shit. NCIS.
Oh, NCIS. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, well, there you go.
So he's in it. Meg Ryan's in it too. She was the best bit of the film, and she wasn't in very long. And yeah, it was okay. Just a standard sort of buddy cop drama sort of thing, where Sean Connery plays like a drunk sergeant, and Mark Harmon is like the detective sort of thing, and they sort of try and bring down this crime syndicate, whatever. I don't know. I was in and out of it.
Its ratings right on the edge of being shite.
Yeah, 6. This is one I just bought recently. As part of the budget, you get one for each JB. I paid like $9 for it. It was like, I've always wanted to see it. I get it. It was okay.
No,
it's one of those.
I agree with that. I was never a big fan of that film.
Yeah. And that brings us to the end of like my catalog stuff. We watched.
What about that? This regarding Henry.
Yeah, I talked about that. It's a Harrison Ford one.
I must have zoned out.
You must have. I talked about it before. Imprint.
The
Imprint, and he like had to learn how to be good again.
Yep.
Well, to be a good man. The Fifth Estate we watched. This is kind of, Jesus. This is that one about the WikiLeaks.
Yeah.
This is a more recent one, but I'm saying probably like 10 years old now by this point, 2013.
2013, yeah.
Oh, this was boring.
It was boring as bad shit.
So boring.
Yeah.
We stood out there for ages, just kind of decide what we're going to watch. And we thought, we'll try something fun, maybe like a bit of a thriller or something. And we're like, Fifth Estate's been sitting here long enough. We'll watch this. Fucking bad decision.
Yeah.
Benedict Cumberbatch plays Julian Assange. And Daniel Bruhl is like the guy that sort of gets swept up in the WikiLeaks thing. A huge cast. There's like a heap of other people in it too. But it was so boring.
Yeah.
And annoying. The music is annoying. The camera is like really annoying. Just everything. It's one of those like cool, like trying to be like cool,
Hip, cool and
hacker
groovy,
movie, like those cool like hacker sequences. Oh, I'm gonna hack into the mainframe, and then there's like all this like text and shit, like the Matrix, and fuck, it was boring as hell.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
You fell asleep. I probably fell asleep a bit. So anyway, I went out and I was like, I'm gonna buy some new movies. I don't usually buy movies like full price straight away as soon as they come out. We usually wait for the sales because it's always like 2 months after a film comes out on Blu-ray. You get it for like a third of the price.
Exactly right.
So we very rarely do that. But JB is doing buy two, get one free at the moment. And they released a couple of movies that I've been wanting to see for ages. I picked up Promising Young Woman, which is one I've been dying to see. The Dry, which I've been dying to see as well. And then I paired them up with Shadow in the Cloud, which apparently absolute trash, but I can't wait to see it. So I was like, fuck it. I've been waiting to see Promising Young Woman in particular for so long, and everyone's been going about how fucking good it is and everything. And I was actually going to go to see it at the cinemas. Didn't happen. Didn't have the time. I was like, fuck it. I'm just buying it. And we've got a couple of newer movies we can watch for a change. I discovered actually after I went and bought them, I could have hired them for like $5 on Foxtel. So I could have hired them and then bought them in a few months. I probably would have been out of pocket about the same amount anyway. I pay about $20 for them, I think, which is fine. And I don't mind because The Dry is an Australian film and it did very well at the box office. I was like,
I'm looking forward to that one.
I was like, yeah, maybe watch that tonight, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
And I was thinking, fuck, I don't mind giving a bit of money to, a production like that.
Depends on what time we get to see Falcon Winter Soldier.
Oh, yeah, fucking hell. Forget about that all the time.
Watch that first tonight.
Yeah, that's tonight. Last episode tonight.
Oh, nice.
By the time you're listening to this, because we record on a Friday, would have been out.
It was awesome. Wasn't it?
I'm sure it was awesome. I'm sure it was. Anyway, so we watched, out of that pile, we watched Promising Young Woman. What did you think about this one?
Oh, I loved it.
So how good was it?
Yeah, really loved it.
Fucking amazing.
Yeah.
So completely different to what I thought it was going to be about.
And I didn't fall asleep.
You didn't fall asleep, no.
That's a good indicator.
I was watching, I was like, geez, you stayed awake.
Yeah.
I have avoided everything for this movie. I fucking love Carey Mulligan.
She's fantastic,
She is one of my favourites. And I think she has... I'm sorry, Natalie Portman, but I think she's overtaken Natalie Portman for my favourite actress.
Yeah,
she is fucking amazing in this. And of course she was in The Great Gatsby, and I loved her in The Great Gatsby and a multitude of other things we've watched. But holy shit, she was so good in it. If she doesn't win the Oscar tomorrow on Monday, I'm going to fucking riot. I'm going to knock everything over on this and pour this. Probably won't do that.
No, I can't do that.
I'll be very
too
disappointed.
expensive for that.
Yeah, it is. She's been nominated though, and man, it was so good.
Yeah, really enjoyed it. Really loved it.
I avoided everything because I just know every now and then there comes a film where I'm like, I'm going to really fucking love this film, and I knew this was going to be just by the. I don't think I even watched a trailer for it. I saw photos and I saw maybe little clips and stuff. I was like, I'm going to love this film. And she is amazing.
But it wasn't just her performance. Like I thought it was beautifully shot.
That's what
incredibly scripted.
I think that's what got me from
the twist at the end.
Oh man,
was incredibly well set up, and you didn't really. It wasn't really until the end you saw it. You thought,
everything clicked.
Shit, hang on.
We won't even say it because you have to see it. And I'm so glad I avoided everything from this film because there were people. Apparently, there's heaps of people tweeting about it and shit, and I somehow managed to avoid it all. But the cinematography, the colours that they use in this, like the pastels and just everything.
Beautifully styled and everything.
Yeah, and everyone in it's fantastic. The whole cast is really great. And I just knew by the look of it, you just kind of know by the look and the feel of a film, I'm thinking, I'm going to really enjoy this. And that's why I was like, I have to go out and get this as soon as I can. Fucking loved it. So good. So good. She's terrific. The whole cast terrific. Just everything. As you said, the writing. Yeah. By Emerald Fennell, who's an actress. She was like in The Crown. She played Camilla Parker Bowles in The Crown, didn't she? Was it Camilla or she played? No, she played Camilla in The Crown.
Did she?
Yeah.
Let's have a look.
She's an actress. I think this is I could be wrong, but I think it's the first thing she's written, directed, maybe. But yeah, she's in The Crown. There you go, Camilla.
Yeah, Camilla. Yeah, she was.
Shit.
Yeah,
she's done a bunch of other stuff as well. But the writing, the directing on it, amazing, so good. But yeah, the end of it where it just all clicks. But
Yeah.
I thought it was like, I knew it was like about this woman who's going going around to set things straight.
Yep.
And I thought, I guess that's probably, the marketing was probably misleading you to believe that she's going to go around just fucking murdering people and whatever.
Exactly.
I don't want to say too much more, but
No.
anyway, it was just completely different to what I expected.
Yeah.
So good.
It was
This is
awesome.
my favourite
It
movie
was
for a long time.
Awesome.
So I'm glad you...
Probably the best one we've seen this year,
Oh, yeah. For sure.
I would think. Or pretty close to it.
So I'm glad, I'm happy that I paid like almost full price for that.
Yeah.
I think it was worth it.
It was, certainly was.
So anyway, that's that. We watched that finally. I've still been watching my DC films. I watched Superman Red Sun, which is like an Elseworlds tale about what if he landed in Soviet Russia and became like a dictator. That was very good. And then because I watched the Batman Elseworlds one, Gotham by Gaslight. I can't remember if I mentioned that in the podcast, but that was the one where it was set in like a Victorian era Gotham.
Oh, right, okay.
So what if Batman was like around going after Jack the Ripper?
Yep,
So they were both very good. And then I watched 2 Justice League ones. I've started, because most of the films, like fucking 35 films, whatever it is, most of them are like individual stories. They don't have any continuity, but there's like a big slab of them that do. There's like 15 of them. So I've started watching the ones that have the continuity. So I've watched Justice League, Flashpoint Paradox, and Justice League War, both of which were very good. I enjoyed both of them. So I'm into that like what's called the New 52, which is like the new era versions of the characters. So anyway, got into them.
Yeah, no, you watching the other night, it was just annoying the crap out of me. I was falling in and out of sleep.
Oh yeah, that was Batman the Animated Series. I was watching a couple episodes of Batman the Animated Series.
And I just thought the music didn't fit the action that was going on.
Yeah, but it was about the Joker, and the Joker had like taken over all these like
Maybe
people,
I
and
need to
they
be
all
awake for the whole thing.
probably because they were
understand.
clowns. They were like all clowns. He's fighting these clowns, so it was like circusy music. Yeah, but you got annoyed and you went to bed.
Yep.
Batman the Animated Series. So I started watching that as well, sort of, because some nights it's too late to put one of these movies on, so I'm like, oh, I'll put on a couple of episodes of Batman the Animated Series. So anyway, that's a good segue into television we've been watching. We can finally talk about Big Shot. Disney Plus, they've played, well, by the time this podcast goes out, there's 2 episodes. We've seen the first 3, I think.
Yep.
Fucking so good.
Yeah,
the John
good.
Stamos one where he plays the... he's an NCAA. What is it, NCAA? The basketball.
Yeah, I think it was. It wasn't NBL. It was NCAA. Yeah, pretty
NCAA.
sure.
He's like a coach. Of a team, and then he cracks the shits and throws a chair at a ref, and then he basically gets a penalty. He's penalised.
Oh, he gets kicked out.
Or he gets kicked out, but they're like, you might be able to come back if you go and prove yourself. They send him to like this posh a private school where he has to teach a private girls' school where he's got to teach a girls' basketball team essentially, and his struggles with trying to apply his methodology of like a NCAA level men's basketball team on this young group of girls. And he ends up butting heads with them, and so good, really good show.
It is good.
And I've told a few people about it. I'm like, you got to watch this show because it's so good. And they went and watched it. Like, fucking hell, it was really good.
Yeah.
But I've heard nothing but good
Very
things
enjoyable.
about it. Yeah, I think this could be like another. It's not quite like Friday Night Lights level, but I think it could be like another one of those
It'll get there,
long-lasting sort of sports
there.
dramas. Very good.
Yeah.
All the performers in it are great. All the female actors in it are really, really good. And he's terrific, of course. John Stamos.
He's offside. What's his offside? Guy with the beard.
Oh,
Can't think of his name. He's fantastic.
Yeah.
Very dry.
So it's it's great. Really enjoying that. And that's going at the moment. We watched a few more episodes of The Mighty Ducks. Still really good. We're still waiting on like the last 3 episodes of that. We finished the 2nd season of Dickinson.
Yeah.
Yeah, great show.
It was good.
I didn't think it was as good as the first season.
It was different.
Yeah,
there was something different about it.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I just love that blend. I love that blend of that old, 1850s scenery and what do you call it? Society.
Yeah.
The way they, woman's got to be a housewife and have children and all those sorts of things, and modern day language.
Yeah. So how they kind of flip it.
Yeah.
It's like,
calling each other bro and
it's like anachronistic, like I said a few weeks ago. So you've got like modern music and modern, like the guy's like, oh, we're having a bro hang.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like, oh, I'm just bro hanging out. And then he came and he said something else. He called people dude, like, hey, dude, and whatever else. And then the language she uses and stuff, it's all very modern. But obviously it takes that idea of like, the female has to be the housewife. The female's not allowed to be published in literature. You're not allowed to be female. And they kind of flip that idea of like, it's very like, I guess it's got like that feminist kind of ideology.
Yeah.
But it applies it to like the 1800s. But it's not incredibly on the nose. It turns out with like a really nice, right, kind of heart and humor about it. I love it. It's such a good show.
It's one of the best ones I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, this is on Apple TV.
I absolutely loved the first season.
Yeah,
this one's not quite as good as the first season,
good.
but it's sort of it's got a slightly different feel than the first season. I reckon.
Yeah, something was a bit off about it, but that was I mean, how crazy is that? Like females weren't allowed to. It's like frowned upon. Mary Shelley, who wrote Frankenstein, going on a tangent, but she originally published the book under her husband's name.
Oh, really?
So for many, many years, probably like 100 years or something, it was under his name.
There was a fairly modern, prolific. I forget who it was. She was a prolific writer who wrote under a male name.
Did we watch a film about that?
I can't
feel
remember.
like we watched a movie about it.
But she would write under a nom de plume.
Yeah.
As a male.
Yeah, I feel like we watched a film about that. I'm not sure. But anyway, so that was great. Now, we all on Apple TV Plus.
And on Dickinson, I just love Jane Krakowski on that.
Oh, she's very good, isn't she?
She is fantastic on that.
She's very good.
Yeah, I love it. Sorry.
Talking about Apple TV Plus. Now, be careful what you say here. Because we're half embargoed on what we're allowed to say,
Oh, right, okay.
Mythic Quest. I'd heard of it. I'd seen it on there. I thought this is some fantasy thing. Not that interested. Apple sent me an email kind of out of the blue. They're like, have you watched Mythic Quest? We might be able to get you an interview with the cast. I was like, oh, fuck yeah. I said, to be completely honest, I've not watched it, but I will watch it and I'll do the interview. And she's like, oh, yeah, great. Really good show. It's from the creators of Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which we've never watched.
No, that's right.
But that was like, it's a comedy, so okay, interesting. It's basically a comedy about these group of people who are making a video game, like an open world sort of, like a Warcraft sort of thing. Fantasy game called Mythic Quest. It's got Rob McElhenney in it, who is in Always Sunny.
Yep.
Got a couple of the other actors from Always Sunny. It's written by the same people, whatever. And then it's got at the head of it, it's sort of alongside McElhenney is an Australian actress by the name of Charlotte Nickdale. And then it's also got F. Murray Abraham in it.
Oh, isn't he brilliant?
How fucking good is he? He is so good. And he plays kind of like the fantasy writer who's been hired to write the lore and the mythology of this world. And man, this show absolutely fucking rocks.
Yeah.
We smashed through season 1 in like 2 days. Well, because I kind of felt like I had to because the interview was coming up. And then anyway, kind of got delayed a little bit. They sent me the second season. I think I'm allowed to say I've seen it. Yeah, I think I'm allowed to say I've seen it because by the time this goes out on Monday, I think the embargo lifts. But because this is going out to early to patrons, I'm not allowed to say what we thought about the second season. Yep. But we have seen the full season. But particularly talking about the first season anyway, such a fucking good show.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
Such a good show.
Yeah.
Loved it. Like, check it out. I feel like it's one of those ones that's probably gone under the radar a little bit, and like the hit rate of Apple TV Plus is incredible.
Yeah, it's not been a bad one, really.
Not a bad one so far that we've come across.
We're a bit choosy in what we watch, but
but there's not a lot on there to begin with either.
Yeah, that's
right. But what we have seen on there is amazing. Ted Lasso.
I can't wait for the
second season. Yeah, a couple of months.
Yeah.
What was the other one we watched? Trying on there.
There's another season coming too,
another season next month, I think.
Awesome.
So anyway, it was really lovely to hear from Apple, and they're amazing over there. They're so good over there, and they pushed really hard for me to get this interview. They tried to get me with Rob McElhenney and Charlotte at first, and then that kind of fell apart because they were booked up, and they were like, we can get you an interview with literally the rest of the cast I was like, fucking sign me up for that. And then for some reason or another, that kind of fell apart. And then the lady over at Apple got back to me again, called me up and was like, I've really pushed. I can get you an interview with Charlotte next week. I was like, fuck yes. She's like, because she's Australian. I think they really wanted to push it because she's an Australian actress and they wanted like that Australian representation for it. They pushed me to get like a TV interview slot. All this crazy stuff. They just went above and beyond. And like I said before, it was like they said, can you do 6:30 a.m.? I was like, absolutely. And she got back to me. She's like, I've been able to get you a 9:30 slot.
Awesome.
So they are amazing over at Apple. They're incredible and they organise this. And again, because we're kind of embargoed on that one a little bit and the show doesn't start for a couple of weeks, I'll play my interview with Charlotte on next week's podcast.
Right.
And the video will go up and all that kind of stuff as well. She's lovely.
Yeah.
She is lovely as well. So it was I got about 6 minutes with her. She was lovely to speak to. I spoke to her a bit about the second season and all that. But yeah, get on Mythic Quest. Check out the first season before the second season drops in a couple of weeks. I think it's like 11 episodes of the 9-episode season and then 2 special episodes that are in between.
You won't be disappointed.
No way. Really good. I loved
really,
it.
Really
loved
enjoyed
it so much.
Really enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah. So that's next
The first season, anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, the first season. You love the first season. And the 2 specials, which are now available as well. You love them too. Second season, I can't say just yet. Hey, guess what? Oh, no, I did it too early. Okay, ready? Fucking...
Try again.
Ready?
Got it.
Yeah, Deadwood update.
Okay, guys.
It's been 2 weeks since
Just for
we've been
you,
on the
Sam,
air.
we've done 2 episodes.
2 episodes. We did.
Since last time.
Well, last week we missed one because I had... Why did we miss one last week? Did we forget or were we busy or something happened?
Oh, there was some reason I can't remember.
I think there was some reason we're on Tuesday night. It just didn't happen.
Yep.
Because we've decided, again...
Tuesday nights, Deadwood night.
Tuesday night's Deadwood night. Of course, if you're a new listener to the podcast, we've been trying to get through Deadwood for years and years.
Since
We've stopped and started. So we're finally getting through it. And we finally, after like a 4-month gap of not watching any shows, we're back into it. So this
because we started it 3 times.
Yeah, we started 3 times, and
Yeah,
we're finally getting there. Finally getting there. We watched. Okay, because we missed one last week, we watched 2 this week to make
That's
up
right.
for it. So we did like Tuesday night and Wednesday night. We watched a Deadwood each night. Still fucking boring, man.
Look, I'm enjoying it, but you're right, it's boring. Because it's just the same storyline.
It's the same thing over and over again.
Yeah. It's like nothing happens.
Yeah.
And when something does happen, it happened last season.
Well, there was that at the end of the one we watched now, there's like a big fight, big brawl and shit, and they brought out the guns. I was like, fucking yeah, we're getting into it. And then the next episode, it'll be back to normal. It'll just
exactly
be like,
right.
Something happens and like, shit, I can't wait to see what happens next. And it's almost like they don't acknowledge it.
Yeah.
So we're in season 3 now. We're finally in the last season.
It was like that episode back in, I think, season 2 where Sheriff...
Bullock.
When Bullock beat the shit out of...
yeah, that's right.
Beat the crap out of Swearingen.
Yeah, threw him over the thing.
And then the next episode was back to normal.
Yeah, it was like, didn't happen. What the hell? Yeah, crazy. I mean, this show just, oh my gosh. But the last one was okay. Like, they've been okay. They've been, like, you can watch them. But it is still just such a boring program.
Yeah, if something happened that'd be better.
Yeah.
I can see why they killed it after the 3rd season.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we got 3 episodes of season 3 out the way now.
Yep.
So that means...
It's what, 7
9
more?
left?
9 more?
9
Was
left?
it 12, is it?
Maybe, I don't know.
No, you might be right. I think you're right.
Yeah. So there's a few left, and then we got the movie as well. And we'll be done with this in a couple of months. Thank the Lord, we'll be done with Deadwood.
Then we've got to think about what we start after that.
Oh, yeah, I know. Well, there's that other one that Timothy Oliphant did, Justified. I think we did the same thing where we started
that. We watched 2 or 3 episodes.
And then we started it again. But it wasn't because we didn't like it. I think we just, one of those things. And then you bought all the seasons and you're like, we'll watch it eventually.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the next thing. Hopefully that's better. Anyway.
Has anybody seen it?
Yeah, right in about Justified.
Let us know what it's like.
That went for like 6 seasons.
Something like that, yeah.
I'm trying to look. So hopefully that's better. It didn't get the axe early on. Gary Leiderman, who's been a very, very long time viewer, follower, listener, he sent in an article from Looper. He's like, check this out. He's like, they've called season 2 of Deadwood a near-perfect action TV show. They put Deadwood season 2 on this list of like the top 10 near-perfect TV shows.
God,
and they called it
watching the same thing we were
They
watching.
called season 2 a 10th season of a great show at its peak.
Well, it dropped off pretty fucking quick, didn't it?
If that's the peak, we're fucked for the rest.
God.
Lord Almighty. Anyway,
lied to him. I wouldn't have thought that from him.
I know. No, Gary didn't say that. Gary shared a link.
Oh, sorry.
Gary shared a link to a Looper article.
Ah, right.
And he said, check this out, guys. Look what they've said.
My God.
Yeah, so there you go. That is all the stuff we've been watching. Other than Mortal Kombat. That's out now here in Australia.
Yep.
And it's just about to open in the States today, actually. So by the time this goes out, the movie's out worldwide. It opened in Asia a couple of weeks ago, I believe, and parts of Eastern Europe, I think, as well. So it's kind of out globally now.
So when's it released here?
Oh, it's out already.
Oh, okay.
Came out on Wednesday.
Oh, right.
Because they do the early release on the week of Anzac Day.
Oh, right.
week.
Yeah.
They do the Wednesday instead of the Thursday release. Yeah, we enjoyed it. It was what you expect from it. Well,
Yeah,
I did anyway. A brutal action, R-rated action, like comic book action, violence and gore, and pretty much that's about it. There's not a lot. There's a story there, but there's not much character development.
Not really a film in my wheelhouse, but
no,
but
me
I
either.
didn't mind.
But it was fun. It was fun to watch. Just a turn your brain off. We watched that on Friday night.
Yeah.
I had a screener of that, which I watched last Friday night, because the wonderful people of Warner Brothers, who are also a really, really wonderful team of PR people over there. They are terrific as well. And they organised an interview for me with two of the stars of the film.
That they did.
Both Aussie stars. Josh Lawson, who is someone I have loved for so long. He's terrific.
Love him.
Does some great comedy.
Yep.
Does really great dramatic stuff as well. He's just great. I didn't
Any
realise.
questions for Ben, I think?
Yeah, any question for Ben? That was really good. We watched that recently. Whenever he was on Thank God You're Here, I was just like, Josh Lawson's on, man. Because he's like got a background in, what do you call it?
Improv.
Yeah. I think he studied, did the Snyder improv thing or whatever it was.
What was that one he did with, oh, God, he used to live up in, used to be on Rose.
Oh.
What was that one?
Not Peter
Hellier. He did one with Peter Hellier.
I can't remember.
That was a good film.
But anyway, he's done lots of great shit. And, so Josh Lawson, got to speak with him. He plays Kano, the Australian. So he's actually playing an Aussie character, because Kano is an Aussie character in the games. And I also spoke to Sisi Stringer, who really has done not a lot else. She's done 2 other films, 2 very small things. She is amazing. She is a real delight. She's absolutely just blazing up on social media at the moment, and people are just really fawning over her because she's just terrific. She just got really fantastic personality, so much fun. And the pairing of her and Josh Lawson is just an absolute blast. And I'm going to play the interview in full because I think the interview did. The interview did quite well. Well, anyway, I feel like I did quite. This is probably. I feel like the more of these I'm doing, obviously, the more confident you get with doing them. And I feel like this is probably one of the ones that I think I did best with. Anyway, so I'm going to play the full thing. If you want to check the video out, that's on YouTube as well. If you're watching the YouTube video, it's been repurposed, repackaged as part of this podcast anyway. But you can go and check out that individual interview video if you want. Let's check it out. Let's check out the interview. This is, again, Josh Lawson, who plays Kano, and Sisi Stringer, who I should have said plays Melina. Let's do it.
Hello.
Hey, guys. How you going?
Good. Amazing.
Fantastic. Firstly, congratulations to both of you on the film. It is absolutely fantastic. I'm not a huge video game player myself, but I had an absolute blast in this one, and you're both absolutely terrific in it.
Thanks, mate. That's awesome.
Thank you.
How is it for both of you to be involved in such a huge production like this? Is there a sense of pressure going into a project that's based on a franchise that has, I guess, such a pre-existing lore and such a huge fan base behind it?
Yeah, definitely. Yes, the pressure comes, you know, you do your research, and because like you, I wasn't a huge gamer. I'd played the games before, but I wasn't, super into them. And you know, you get the part or you get the audition and you start doing the research and you realize how bottomless that pit is. There's so much to consume, culture, the fans, all of this kind of stuff. So yeah, there was a bit of pressure, but I dealt with it through communicating with the fans, actually. That really helped me.
And yourself, Josh?
What was the question?
Pressure. Did you feel the pressure?
I feel the pressure.
Being
I'm sorry.
in such a huge
Mate, it's been a long
franchise.
day. Forgive me.
You're
Carrying
right.
such a huge franchise
I'm
on your
so
You're
back.
right. I saw you on the morning shows this morning, so I know you're having a bit of a whirlwind this morning. That's fine.
No. Look, yeah, you do. Of course you feel the pressure. But, you know, I feel the pressure. I mean, I'm a ball of nerves at the best of times, so I feel the pressure just going down to buying, eggs from Woolies, mate. So this is fine. You know, you basically do as much work as you can, and then when you're on set and they roll camera, you know, just have fun with it. You just got to throw it all away.
Have fun with it.
And do your best, yeah.
Just have fun with it.
The film was, of course, filmed here in Australia. There's been a huge, really fantastic boom in our industry over the last, I guess, 12 months or so.
Huge.
What is it like to turn up to work for such a huge production like this, essentially on our own back door? Is it surreal or?
Well, this was my first big movie set, but it was actually really cool because so many of the crew were locals. So it felt really cool.
Yeah, look, the truth is, no matter the budget, and this is certainly a big one, you know, when you're making a film, the problems are all the same, really. You know, you're just trying to tell a story. You've got to, you know, get it all happening before we lose light, and you've got a certain amount of time to do it. In a way, it's kind of no different to any other film or TV project. It's just sort of the toys are a bit more expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You play Kano, Josh, who is a uniquely Australian character in the games itself. A lot of what you do in your performance is very authentically Aussie. How much influence did you kind of have on this aspect of the character? Was there a bit of improv? Was there, consultation involved, or was this very much on the page to begin with?
No, well, so it was written by an American, Greg Russo, and so, you know, there's only so much an American who I believe who has never come to Australia before, you know, it's going to be hard to put that stuff on the page. So it was, I considered it more of a guide.
Yeah,
than prescriptive. So I certainly had free range to add stuff, and you know, Simon had pulled back, and we'd always get a scripted one, and then we'd be able to go off piste.
It was very fun witnessing that on set as well.
I could imagine. They are some of my favourite moments in the film. I got to say,
we said some real bad words they wouldn't let us say in America.
Certainly earned its R rating.
Sisi,
you get to play Melina, who's a more otherworldly character, like a mutant assassin, one of the level bosses in many of the games. What's it like for you to tackle such a complex and iconic character, particularly so early in your career?
Yeah, well, I'm so lucky. Like, she is such an iconic character. And one thing I love about her the most is she kind of has this sort of niche cult following, and the Melina fans are probably more aggressive than any other of the fan bases of the of the game, which I love, and which actually fueled me. They gave me so much information on the backstory and her sort of emotional life, and please bring her to life. Please let her be 3D. Please, don't let her just die and be a caricature. So that was really fantastic. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just lucky. What a fantastic role to be involved in early in my career.
Absolutely. Once again, guys, you're both terrific in the film. The film is fantastic. All the best with it. Thank you for your time. I've really appreciated it. Take it easy.
Thank you so much. Ciao.
All right, there you go.
It was good.
Yeah.
Sounded like
Enjoyed that.
Pretty chilled and relaxed.
Yeah, well, I felt it was good. It was really, really relaxed. Obviously, a couple of Aussies, that's what we like. I felt like it's a bit less formal than some of the other ones I've done.
Yeah, well, exactly right. I mean, the one you did with Gal Gadot and a few of the others are really quite formal and are really structured. But that was, he looks completely knackered. He totally
he was going all day. He was going all day because I saw him on the Channel 9 morning show, and then I saw them both together on the Channel 10 one, an hour later. And then they were doing this all day, sort of between in person and Zoom interviews and back and forth and all this kind of. So they were probably just going around all day, just like. And I believe he did a lot of. No, maybe he didn't do. I don't know if he did many solo interviews. I know Sisi did a few solo ones as well. And then they did them together, and then just.
So what else has Sisi done?
Not much. There's like 2 credits to her name.
Really?
I think she's done like a remake of like Children of the Corn or something like that.
Does she do TV or anything like that?
No, it's like 2. Like if you look her up on IMDb, there's literally 2 credits to her name.
How do you spell her name?
Sisi, S-I-S-I. There you go, Sisi Stringer. There she is, right there. I think she's done Children of the Corn. And then something called Bloody Hell, like independent horror film. That's it.
3 credits to her name.
And then she's got a credit as a assistant director on some other like short film or something. Crazy.
Wow.
So yeah, she's going to blow up. Yeah. I can guarantee it. She's going to explode.
No, she was good.
So I enjoyed that. I had a lot of fun with that one. And as I said, I also spoke to Charlotte Nickdale from Mythic Quest. Yep. Season 2 is coming. I should say Mortal Kombat in cinemas now, globally, and on HBO Max in the US. Yep. So I also spoke to Charlotte Nickdale from Mythic Quest, which is coming to Apple TV Plus in the next couple of weeks. I'll play my interview with her next week, and we'll be able to talk about Season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. Hey, you want to play another round of Shite or...
All right.
What do you reckon?
Yeah, let's do it.
Gonna do it.
I got a new sound effect for all right this week.
All right.
I thought it was better.
Love him.
I thought it was better from the last week. All right, so let's do this. I'm trying to think who went first last week. I think you went first last week, so let me go. Of course, for those if you're a new listener, this is our brand new segment, which is going well. People seem to be loving it at the moment. Essentially what we do is we key in a random IMDb title. We've done this off camera because catalog number. So every IMDb, every movie that's on IMDb obviously has its own specific URL, and each of them have their own catalog numbers. And each catalog number is like a 7-letter number. It's just random. It starts 0 and then whatever. So we just key in like a random one. We do it off camera because sometimes a lot of really weird shit comes up that doesn't have a rating, or it's like just nondescript sort of TV episode or some shit like that.
So each of us has pre-selected 2.
We pre-selected 2.
But he doesn't know what I've selected, and I don't know what he's selected.
Okay, and basically the fun thing about this is that there's so much on IMDb, the chances are you're going to pull up something that's really obscure, just really obscure.
Yeah.
But what we have to do, right, we have to decide... I will say, so for example, I will read you the synopsis of the film. I'm not allowed to give character names. I'm not allowed to give actors. I'm not allowed to give the title or the year or whatever.
And I can have one hint, can't I?
You can have one hint because we do 2 rounds, and you can have one assist, and the assist is that I can tell you the top 3 actors that are in the film to kind of aid you. Yep. And we have to decide based solely on the synopsis and maybe the 3 actors whether the movie is shite or...
All right.
Now, the determiner is how we select movies at JB. We'll if it's a film we don't know, we'll look up IMDb, and if it's got a rating below 6, we'll think twice about it. If it's above 6, we'll go, we'll get it.
Yeah. So if the title that we pull up has anywhere between 0 and 5.9 stars, it is shite. And if it is between 6 and 10, it is...
All right.
Okay. So let's do it then.
Yep.
All right. It's going to be fun. Okay, so I've got 2 up. Let's go with the first one. Okay. Ooh, I've got to click this. Okay. Unable to cope with a series of raids on stagecoaches hauling gold to the US, Mint Sheriff Masters appeals to the US Marshal's Office for help. The marshal assigns his best man to the job of discovering the hiding place of the stolen gold and bringing the outlaws to justice. He enlists the aid of someone and her brother. She insists on taking her pack dog. The foursome then goes to the territory controlled by the Sheriff Masters.
Sounds like a bit of a western, doesn't it?
It does a bit, yeah.
And sounds like it's right in my wheelhouse, that sort of
Ooh,
film.
yeah.
I'm going to say that's going to be all right.
You reckon
I
that's
reckon
all right?
that's all right. Well,
Oh.
it's got everything I like.
Sounds pretty good, doesn't it?
You know, good old. I love a good western,
Yep.
and I reckon it's a western, and I reckon I'd enjoy that.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
It is. Ooh.
Oh,
no.
disappointing.
Yeah, I know.
The year it was made.
It was made in 1951. It's called Bad Man's Gold, and it stars Johnny Carpenter, Alan Lockwood, and Clark Stevens. Don't really know who any of them are. It's an American film, I believe. Yeah, American film. It's called, as I said, Bad Man's Gold.
Rating?
Oh, yeah, that's the last bit. 4.2.
Oh, God.
So really bad.
We wouldn't be buying that.
No way. Really bad. There you go.
Well, I'm a bit worried about my two
Yep.
because I reckon I don't know whether you'll know them or not. Cause,
Right.
anyway.
Well, last week I knew them both.
Yeah, exactly right. That's what I'm worried about. Okay, your first one. A nightclub singer has nightmares about being involved in adultery and murder, only to wake up and find they may not be nightmares.
Oh, shit, man. Don't think I've seen it. Sounds quite riveting again. Sounds very interesting, actually. I am going to say that one is probably all right because it does sound, might be a bit visionary. I've just dropped one of my mints. It could be quite visionary, could be some cool, like dream sequence kind of things, and then maybe almost feels like a bit film noir kind of atmosphere. Yeah, I reckon that might be all right.
I think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But it is.
Oh, no.
It
it's
is
shite.
shite.
What is it?
It's called Point of Terror.
Oh.
It was made in 93.
Oh.
It runs for 128 minutes. It's a drama horror. It stars Peter Carpenter, Dwayne Thorne, Laurie Hanson, Leslie Sims, Joel Marston. Director was Alex. Excuse me. Director was Alex Nichol, and its rating is 3.9.
Oh, no.
That sounds like a stinker.
Bad one. That's a terrible one.
That's a real stinker, that one.
Yeah, very stinky. Righto, I got one more for you. Okay, you ready? This one. Okay, you ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
This one is a story about 3 young girls and their dreams and plans for the future.
That's it.
That's it.
Oh, my God.
A story about 3 young girls and their dreams and plans for the future.
Doesn't sound like anything I'd like. It sounds like a chick flick. Not that I don't mind a chick flick. That sounds like a really bad one.
Right.
I'm going to say it's a stinker.
You reckon it's a stinker? You ready? What could it be? Is it shite or is it?
All right.
Yes.
What is it?
It is called Svursnitsky. Svursnitsky, which in English is female age mates. I guess that's kind of a rough translation. It is a film made in 1959 in the Soviet Union, and it has a 6.7.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It stars Lyudmila Krylova, Lydia Fedoseva Shukshina, and Margarita Koshelieva.
Good to see you can pronounce Russian
There
names.
you go. So, yeah, that one's an all right. There you go. All right, one more for me.
Just didn't sound like it'll be anywhere near
Well,
good.
there you go.
Okay, your next one. Mm-hmm. Three sisters find their lives spinning out of control in the wake of their parents' sudden, unexpected divorce.
Oh, interesting. Clink the glass. Sounds similar, actually. Read it again, please.
Three sisters find their lives spinning out of control in the wake of their parents' sudden, unexpected divorce.
It doesn't really sound like anything I'd be all that interested in, to be honest. But I think it might be. It feels like kind of like maybe an arty kind of thing that people will probably like. I'm going to say it's probably got an all right rating. Yeah.
Do you want any hints on that one?
Yeah, give me a hint. Why not? Who's in it?
Mary Beth Hurt,
Yeah.
Kristen Griffith, Diane Keaton.
Oh, Diane Keaton. Yeah, it's probably going to be all right if it's got Diane Keaton in it.
So you're saying it's all right?
Yeah, I reckon.
You would think it.
Yeah,
But it sounds like it would be okay.
Yeah.
But it is.
All right, all
Thought
right.
it would be. What is it?
It is called Interiors,
Oh.
a film made in 1978. PG rating, minute 32 run time. Director, Woody Allen.
A minute 32 runtime.
Sorry. An hour 32 short film.
Oh, it's a Woody Allen film, of course.
It's a Woody Allen film.
Because Diane Keaton did quite a
Exactly
few films
right.
with him. Yeah, right.
So it's got Kristen Griffith, Mary Beth Hurt, Richard Jordan, Diane Keaton, E.G. Marshall.
Well, there you go. Yeah, well, I haven't really watched any of Woody Allen's movies.
And a few
particularly
others,
his old
Maureen
ones.
Stapleton,
Yeah,
Sean Waterston.
Anyway, there you go.
So, yeah.
That is this week's episode of Shite or
All
Alright.
right.
That's a bit of fun.
You won that round.
I did,
I
yeah.
didn't get either of mine right.
Oh, no.
Got one right.
Damn, there you go. We should keep a tally of who's winning. I'll have to go back through the last few episodes. We've got a bit of news to get through. I know we're pushing it for time today, but we'll try and get through. There's a couple of kind of big things that have kind of come out this week. 2 weeks ago on the last podcast, we mentioned that Sony had cut like an enormous deal with Netflix, remember? Because Sony is like the last of the major studios that doesn't have their own streaming service.
Yep.
So they gave Netflix an exclusive first pay window licensing deal in the US that will allow them first pay window rights to Sony Pictures titles following their theatrical and home entertainment windows, as well as the ability to license the rights to select titles from Sony's library. So basically, they're giving Netflix the rights to get the movies on streaming first, essentially, after they've left cinemas and gone to home entertainment, home media. They've also, as part of that deal, it also allowed Netflix to the option to finance a number of titles for the studio's motion picture division. So Netflix can co-produce a number of Sony Pictures films. But it's also been, this almost feels like they've kind of gone behind Netflix's back a little bit, like having a little affair with them, because now they've gone to Disney.
It's a Sony thing to do, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Sony. This is, out of all the studios to pull a move like this, I'd say
Sony'd
that's
be the one.
fucking Sony.
Yeah, exactly right.
It's reported that Sony, while it's not just been reported, this has happened, Sony has cut a deal with Disney, not just for Disney Plus. We're talking everything fucking Disney.
Really?
Yeah. So essentially what has happened is Disney wants as much Marvel shit as they can in their possession.
Yeah, for sure.
So essentially Disney wants, because they've got all the Marvel films on Disney Plus.
Because they've got Spider-Man and stuff, haven't they?
Sony owns Spider-Man and all of Spider-Man's entire rogues gallery of characters and shit.
Yep.
So obviously Disney and Sony have that co-production deal, which is supposed to expire soon again after it's been renewed, where they can make the Spider-Man films together and Disney can have Spider-Man and the Avengers crossover films, all that kind of shit. But there's been a big gaping hole on Disney Plus. They have the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe on there, except for the two Spider-Man films that are part of the MCU, Homecoming and Far From Home. The only one missing would be the Incredible Hulk, which is owned by Universal.
Right.
So now, Disney, this is from a Variety article, I'll read it out, right? Disney has set a massive movie licensing pact with Sony Pictures for the US again that promises to bring Spider-Man and other Marvel properties to Disney Plus, starting with Sony's 2022 release slate. The wide-ranging deal, which runs through Sony's 2026 theatrical slate, also calls for Sony titles to run across Disney's array of streaming and linear platforms, making it unprecedented in scope as it covers Disney+, Hulu, FX, ABC, Disney Channels, and Freeform. It also includes a significant number of library titles that we spread among various outlets. Hulu will gain access to what Disney described as a significant number of library titles starting in June. Jeez. There you go.
It's incredible.
So essentially, this says it starts as of 2022. So that would mean probably it wouldn't include the next Spider-Man film because that comes out this year, maybe, depending on whether that gets pushed again. The next Venom film comes out next year. So that could be the first. But it also does mention that back catalogue, and Disney would not have cut this deal if they did not make a deal for those other Spider-Man films. So I can guarantee those Spider-Man films will be on there, as well as probably the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy, Tobey Maguire, and probably the Amazing Spider-Man films as well with Andrew Garfield. So I imagine all of that would now go to Disney Plus. Who knows? That might wind up on Disney Plus and Netflix, depending how they've cut this deal. Because when they were talking about the Netflix one a couple of weeks ago, there was mention of like the Venom and Spider-Man. So if this is like a multi-platform sort of deal, well, yeah, there you go, multiverse. This is currently only USA, but I can imagine that Disney will be licensing it globally.
Yeah, you would think so.
This is apparently going to cost Disney millions of dollars. No figure on that. But between both deals, Disney and Netflix, Sony's expected to make $3 billion over the lifespan of the deals. It is described as Sony by a groundbreaking deal, which it really is. How's that, huh?
Yeah,
Sony's sitting there thinking, well, we have to do something. Everyone else has got their streaming service. What are we going to do? Right. But Sony, again, at the best of times, can be a little bit incompetent. So they've probably realised, we probably can't run our own streaming service.
Yeah,
Let's just let someone else do it for us.
Either that or they're smart enough not to run their own and let somebody else set up the infrastructure and everything else and then just license it out to people. Yeah. It's not a stupid thing.
No, exactly right. Now, another thing that came out yesterday or this morning, one of the PlayStation, it was like PlayStation, I think it was one of the European PlayStation accounts, tweeted out something about Sony movies coming to PlayStation Store. So being able to buy like brand new release Sony movies through the PlayStation Store, and they quickly deleted the tweet.
Wow.
Yeah. So you could be getting these Sony films across fucking multiple platforms. It's crazy. God. It's just crazy to think. Chuck Saftler, which is the head of business operations for ABC, Freeform, FX Networks, and acquisitions for Disney's media and entertainment distribution, has said this landmark multi-year platform agnostic agreement guarantees the team at Disney Media and Entertainment Distribution a tremendous amount of flexibility and breadth of programming possibilities to leverage Sony's rich slate of award-winning action and family films across our direct-to-consumer services and linear channels. It's a win for fans who will benefit from the ability to access the very best content from two of Hollywood's most prolific studios across a multitude of viewing platforms and experiences. Because, of course, Sony owns Columbia Pictures as well. So they'll have access to just a whole breadth of shit. And, of course, when you think about Disney Plus, you've got all the old Fox stuff on there as well now too. Yeah. So what a behemoth of a streaming platform that is. That's the place to be. Now, here's another figure that's going to absolutely blow your mind. Amazon is currently working on a Lord of the Rings series. So apparently they're going to do at least 5 seasons of it.
Really?
Yeah, it's going to be enormous. They're doing it in New Zealand. It's being produced in New Zealand. There's a huge...
At Hobbittown? Or?
I don't know. They haven't really said. But there's like huge tax breaks with the New Zealand government and all this kind of shit. The Hollywood
I'm glad they're making it there. It's beautiful.
Well, exactly right.
Beautiful country.
Well, you can't do it anywhere else. Place. You can't, especially after the movies.
No, exactly right.
It's I don't believe Warner Brothers is part of it because they would have done it for HBO Max. I can't remember who's producing it, but they're going back to New Zealand. Obviously, they want it to be very similar to the movies and tie in with the films and all that kind of shit. Amazon's Lord of the Rings. Now, the Hollywood Reporter has come out this week and reported that the Lord of the Rings series will cost $465 million for one season.
Oh, Jesus.
This is 650 million New Zealand dollars, which is fairly equivalent to our dollar.
Yeah, it's probably about 620 Australian.
That's huge.
That is massive.
When you consider your standard blockbuster film is made on like a $250 million budget, you push it maybe $400 for something huge like an Avengers Endgame, $350 million.
Any idea on how many episodes a season? How long each episode?
No idea. I imagine it's probably going to be like 8. I imagine it'll be like 8 to 10, maybe like 50 minutes an episode. You couldn't imagine it being done any other way. No. But they could be doing it like Disney with the Winter Soldier and all that shit in just 45-minute episodes. Who knows? But they're saying they have potential there for 5 seasons of this thing.
Wow.
And this is the budget for 1 season.
God.
Stuart Nash, who's the New Zealand Minister for Economic Development and Tourism, called it the largest television series ever made.
God, that cost.
Yeah. Well, I've broken it down. The Disney Plus series are currently produced on $200 million budgets for 8 episodes. WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Mandalorian. They're all done on $200 million budgets, which is huge. To begin with, that's fucking huge for television.
Yeah, exactly right.
Because in comparison, your average network series like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. costs $120 million a season for 20 episodes. Game of Thrones, their final season only cost $90 million for 6 episodes. And earlier seasons cost close to $60 million.
God.
So this $465 million budget's just exorbitant. It is insanely
It's a
huge.
sick amount of money.
Yeah.
Be great for the Kiwi economy.
Uh-huh.
Be great.
Oh,
for
for
them.
sure. There's apparently massive tax cuts and tax breaks, whatever you want to call them, huge. Hollywood Reporter also says, it's a little stipulation, is that this cost almost certainly doesn't reflect just season 1's production cost alone. It probably also includes the rights to the Tolkien property, which cost an estimated $250 million to Amazon. And there's also considerable startup costs when bringing Middle-earth to life, such as the sets, the costumes and props, all of which can be reused throughout the rest of the series. So there's going to be quite a lot of kind of overhead costs and stuff involved in this. And then maybe the later seasons might be a little bit cheaper because, again, $250 million for them to acquire the rights to Lord of the Rings.
It's incredible.
But this series is...
Jackson have anything to do with it?
I don't believe so. I don't think so.
Yeah, I reckon his production company might.
I don't know.
Being down there.
No, because if Amazon has had to buy the rights, that means it's probably lapsed from New Line or whoever had it earlier. Who knows? I don't know. I don't really know that much about it. I don't think Peter Jackson's involved in it. I could be wrong. But anyway, the series will bring to screens for the very first time the heroic legends of the fabled Second Age of Middle-earth's history, which is set thousands of years before the events of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. Take viewers back to the era in which great powers were forged, kingdoms rose to glory and fell to ruin, unlikely heroes were tested, blah 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 blah. So it's essentially like everything you see in like the opening like moments of the Lord of the Rings films and shit. Probably with Sauron and I don't know. I'm not going to pretend I'm like a Lord of the Rings aficionado. I'm going to have people in the comments like, no, you're completely wrong. There'll be no Sauron in this. He wasn't even born yet. Some shit, I don't know.
See.
But anyway, so that's interesting. Talking about streaming services, HBO Max, not doing too well.
Really?
Yeah, they only added, well, we say only, but they added 2.7 million domestic subscribers during the first quarter of 2021. This is compared to Disney, who drew in 21.2 million in that same period.
Oh, God.
But again, Disney is global. HBO Max is only in the US.
Yeah, that's right.
And Disney doesn't release broken figures. Disney just puts out what they want to put out.
Yeah.
So they've put out like a global, like 21.2 million globally. But you would imagine that a vast majority of those subscribers are probably in the US. I don't know.
Well, you'd think so.
Yeah. So anyway, HBO Max has only pulled in 2.7. Godzilla vs. Kong drew the largest audience in that quarter, and that was released on the last day of the quarter. CNBC, in fact, says that Zack Snyder's cut of the Justice League, which was supposed to be their huge thing, we're going to give you the Zack Snyder cut finally, we're going to get so many people are going to sub to the service, it's going to be like the huge boom for HBO Max. CNBC reports that it was well viewed by HBO Max subscribers, but fell short of the record reached by Wonder Woman 1984. And Sean Robbins, the chief analyst at boxoffice.com, says, in Justice League's particular case, the modest impact on growth is hardly surprising because that part of the franchise was already past its expiration date with casual audiences. DC fans tuned in and they made it a buzzy hit across social media, but it was never fair to expect a 4-hour director's cut to significantly move the long-term needle for a streamer.
Yeah, fair enough.
We haven't watched it yet.
No.
Because we're not like die-hard DC
No, that's
EU
right.
shit. I'll see it eventually, probably, maybe, who knows.
In 4 hours.
4 hours, that's the thing, isn't it? Pascal Desroches, the CFO, Chief Financial Officer at AT&T, who owns Warner Brothers these days, he said the same-day releases of movies in theaters and on HBO Max has been a success. It's provided theaters with a steady flow of content in a pandemic-challenged environment, and it's also been a great catalyst for subscriber growth at HBO Max. So you would imagine most of the subscribers at HBO Max are probably coming from those like day-and-date release things.
Yeah, probably.
They don't have a lot of exclusive content yet, I don't believe. So
Okay.
I think maybe once they start rolling that, once they start going global, it might pick up.
Because anything we get from HBO is really on streaming.
It's all on Foxtel, yeah.
Foxtel. Streaming cable.
Oh, yeah, well, because it's part of Binge as well, which is Foxtel's streaming
Yeah.
service. So it goes to Binge and cable,
Mm.
Foxtel. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, so that's interesting. We'll keep a watch on that.
Yeah.
Here's something that's a
They'll
little...
probably finish up going down the road that Sony went,
Yeah, maybe.
selling it
Who
all
knows?
off.
It's sad,
Licensing it all
though.
off.
It's
Yeah, it
sad, though,
is.
because it's Warner Brothers, and I think they're probably my favourite studio as far as their output of content over the years.
They
they've
produce
been
some great stuff, HBO.
Yeah, HBO, but this is not just HBO. It's Warner Brothers, all their films, everything, because Warner Brothers owns HBO.
Yeah.
So they're just using that branding of HBO to pull people in. So it's been interesting. It's I don't know. I hope it goes well. Hopefully it's just like a little,
Bit of a glitch.
little glitch at the beginning. Here's something sad about home media. Someone found this, sent it in to me. Jerry Beck is a film historian, most known for his works on animation. He owns like an animation blog. He's written numerous texts. I'm constantly citing him in my Cartoon Evolution videos. Very, very well known. He does a lot of work with the Warner Archive, which is their sort of secondary, subsidiary home media label, which releases more obscure stuff that the main Warner Home Video or Warner Home Entertainment, whatever it's called, doesn't release. So a lot of those older movies, a lot of like the Hanna-Barbera series, the Looney Tunes shit, that all winds up like on the Warner Archive label.
Yep.
And these are all like print-on-demand discs. So you order them and they make one. They don't just have like a stockpile of
stock
them.
of them, yeah.
You can buy them through their website. You can buy them through Amazon. I'm not sure if you can actually go into a store and buy them and stuff like that. Anyway, so Jerry Beck works very closely with the Warner Archive, whether that's on classic films or some of their classic animation releases. Again, they've done Looney Tunes stuff. They've done the DC animation. They've done the Hanna-Barbera stuff. So he's very close with them. Anyway, someone found this. I don't know exactly what was asked. Someone had obviously asked him something on Facebook and he replied to them. I'm assuming they asked if we're going to get more Looney Tunes Blu-rays. I think that's probably the gist I'm getting from this. Anyway, he said, as of now, there are no plans to commemorate Daffy or Tweety's anniversaries next year or ever, because they just released a Bugs Bunny 80th anniversary box set thing, which I
that's
bought.
right. Yeah.
The company is slowly transitioning away from physical media. There are no, in capital letters, no plans for any classic cartoons on DVD or Blu-ray that I know of, except for one project we're in the middle of, which may come out later this year or not. Anything is possible. We'll just have to wait and see. It's a little bit disappointing because, oh man, now this is specifically talking about animation here.
Yeah.
I've been buying all their Hanna-Barbera releases. I jumped online this morning. They just released Josie and the Pussycats in Outer Space, which was like the spin-off series. I was like, I'm buying it now before they stop selling shit. So I bought that this morning with two other Warner Archive titles. Two of my favourite films ever, which is The Shop Around the Corner, James Stewart, Christmas film, and It Happened on Fifth Avenue, which is one where the homeless guy moves into the mansion. Pay $25 for each of them, but that's what you got to pay for these Warner.
Exactly.
Sometimes you can get them around $19, $20,
Not
but
often,
I'm getting a little panicky now because there's been rumblings. Warner Archive, I think, was just bought out by someone else, and they did like a massive fire sale, and people were like panic buying, and they're like, no, we're just starting a new website. But there's just a few things that have been happening that have just been a little bit odd. So I got on and I spent like $80-something for these 3 discs this morning just because they're the ones I really want. I've been watching them for ages. Like, I'm just going to get them now so I can assure them. Anyway, he continues. It includes both Warner Archive and regular Warner Home Video. Now, this goes back not just talking about animation. He's talking about the company is slowly transitioning away from physical media.
Wow.
It includes both Warner Archive and regular Warner Home Video. So that's the main arm and this subsidiary arm. You'll still see some new releases from both during the rest of 2021, but those were planned out last year. Next year, 2022, is when this year's changes will be felt. Yes, the Tex Avery set sold well enough for the low overhead archive collection division, but in the big picture, it's peanuts. And the and the focus over there is now on streaming, HBO Max.
Death of physical media.
Yeah. We've been seeing it. It's been a push and a pull kind of thing. And James, the patron subscriber, I speak to him quite a bit on Twitter. He sent this in to me. And we were talking about it, and it was like, I wish we'd just have either give us an end date, like physical media is going to just die on this date,
Yeah, exactly.
or give us confirmation that no, we're gonna keep going with it. Don't keep giving us this fucking pull and push and pull and push, because it feels like every week we get a piece of news that comes out. It's like physical media is dead, like this, or like last year when we heard Disney is dipping out of releasing any more back catalogue titles, particularly on 4K. And then the next month you get something that's like, holy shit, Disney is releasing Speed on 4K and they're releasing Heat on 4K, and they've just announced they're finally releasing The Black Cauldron on Blu-ray, which we've been waiting for 10 years. So it's like, what the hell are you doing? And then you get Warner Home Video, who's like, oh yeah, here's this back catalogue stuff. Warner Archive has been fucking incredible for all these older films, and again, the Hanna-Barbera stuff and animation. I've been like, yes, give it all to me. I'm still waiting for Top Cat. I'm still waiting for Magilla Gorilla. I'm still waiting for Yogi Bear. Maybe, probably won't get them now. But yeah, it feels like everything's going well, and then you just get a little something like this where you just deflated again. Just tell us what's going on. It's crazy.
Yeah, slow death.
A slow death. Someone messaged me, they said, how long do you think physical media's got left? I think it'll always be around, but I think it's always going to be someone like a Criterion or an Arrow or a Eureka, like the kind of the premium boutique labels, independent labels who license stuff out from studios and releases special editions.
And you'll pay a premium for it too.
Well, you already do.
Yeah,
that's why I spend like $300 on Criterion once a year, because I get them like 50% off, and even then I'm paying like $20 a disc, $22 a disc, or whatever it is. So expensive. And like I said, I just spent $25 each for a couple of old films. I think that Josie and the Pussycats in Outer Space cost me $35. So they're already premium price. So I guess Warner Archive is like the premium sort of label of Warner Brothers. So it's going to go, it'll go to all these boutique labels who license out from studios. So we can still get like catalog stuff, maybe new release stuff. Criterion released a lot of the Netflix stuff. So they've put out releases of The Irishman, which was the Scorsese one. They put out Marriage Story, Roma. So a lot of the Netflix stuff goes to home media via Criterion.
Right, okay.
So I think this is going to be this will be the future of physical media. It'll be collector's niche, and it'll be these boutique labels running the game, and you're going to be paying a premium for every movie you buy. Gone are the days you can go to JB Hi-Fi and pick up a film for $4. Baron Munchausen. You'll be buying the Criterion edition, like I paid $22 for fucking Jabberwocky.
Yeah.
You know? So... Oh, it's just crazy times.
And then on top of that, you're going to have to go and buy an extra bloody Blu-ray DVD player and stuff because they'll stop making them.
Yeah. Well, a couple of, was it not Panasonic? It was one of them's just stopped making them. I can't remember.
It has to be Panasonic if it's
really Pioneer.
Oh, have that?
I believe Pioneer have stopped making Blu-ray players.
Oh,
I could be wrong. But I think
we're a dying breed, Dave.
Anyway, so there we go. We're like the last ones holding on to this physical media. I reckon maybe 50% of the people listening to this probably don't give a shit either.
No, probably more than that. But I know I've got a lot of followers and stuff who have diehard physical media as well.
It's just crazy, man. It's on the way out. All these streamers are taking over. It's crazy.
It might save me a few dollars.
Yeah. And someone mentioned, I saw it, I think on the post of the Jerry Beck thing, someone commented like, we're going to see like piracy shoot up again, like bootleg discs are going to be a thing again.
Yeah.
You remember like 20 years ago, you always saw people would buy bootleg discs. They'd be going around and shit DVDs. You'll see people ripping stuff from the streaming services because I'm sure people will find a way to do it and they'll make bootleg Blu-rays and you'll buy the bootleg Blu-ray. I won't be doing it. We won't be doing that because we don't get
we used to
shit.
have a Blu-ray player that had a recorder in it, and
yeah, that's right.
we could just record stuff, and it was a burner as well. So
that's right. Yeah, you could rip it from the disc to disc and then go and weird. Crazy. But yeah, bootleg was huge. Like 20 years ago, bootleg. You go to someone's house and they'd be like, "Oh, look at this case of bootleg discs I've got." And
someone
like,
who
I'm not touching it.
Who had a mate who he'd phone up, and the guy'd go around and go, open up the jacket.
Oh yeah, and we'd be like, "No, just leave me out of that." Never got into bootlegger stuff and never will. And if it's a way of streaming, then we're going to have to settle with that. And I don't recommend bootlegging. It's going to be horrible, but I can see that happening. There'll be like a surge in sort of thing.
Can you move this way, babe?
What's that? I'm off frame again, am I? There we go. Yeah, well, anyway.
Yeah.
A couple of more, just a couple of little tiny bits of news to round us out here. Disney and the Jim Henson Company are developing a biopic on Jim Henson.
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah.
I look
Interesting,
forward to that.
Yeah. So Jim Henson Company owns the life rights to Jim Henson, of course, and Disney owns the rights to the Muppets.
Yep.
So Deadline reports it's currently in development. It's a live-action film. It will chart the life and times of the legendary puppeteer, creator of the Muppets, Fraggle Rock, and many of the Sesame Street characters, as well as director of cult films such as Labyrinth and Dark Crystal. The movie will hone in on Henson's journey to convince broadcasters that the Muppets was a great idea and how he worked to get the characters on air, where they became a comedy staple. Yeah, really looking forward to that.
That sounds like it'd be really good.
I feel like it might be similar to sort of like Saving Mr. Banks, the one Disney did with Tom Hanks as Walt Disney sort of thing. If it's anything like that, I think that could be really good.
Because you sort of don't really know a lot about Jim Henson.
No,
I know a little
really,
bit, but not a lot about
No. So that'll be interesting.
where he started and how and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. I'm really keen on that.
Yeah. Oh,
I love the Muppets. Everyone knows
that.
I love the Muppets. And I love Jim Henson. Just again, one of those just great visionary, just filmmakers, just entertainment moguls, just the brain on him. Crazy. It's going to be produced by his daughter, Lisa Henson. It's written by Michael Mitnick, who wrote The Current War, which was that one we watched with the Edison? Or,
Edison and Tesla.
Yeah. And the Giver, or as you was called, the Guyver. The Guyver. And HBO Max's Vinyl, which was a series that...
We didn't watch that.
No, because it went for one season and got axed. They had Bobby Cannavale and Ray Romano. Looked really good.
Yeah.
And then it got axed.
Yeah.
That was produced by Martin Scorsese. I think he directed
really?
the first episode, yeah. Mick Jagger as well may have produced it as well. I could be wrong, but I think so. So anyway, that'll be interesting. So it's going to be at Disney and the Jim Henson Company. I don't know if this is going to go to theaters or Disney Plus. Sounds like something that's going to go to theaters, but it wouldn't surprise me to see it go on Disney Plus. But there you go. Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, When it doesn't say when it's been.
No idea. I imagine we probably won't see it for 2 or 3 years. If it's been written, who knows? I wonder who they'll cast as Jim Henson. Don't know.
Stephen Merchant.
Jeez. Had a left wing.
Who knows?
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. Another film that's just been announced. Jeez. Rock'em Sock'em Robots, starring Vin Diesel.
Really?
Yeah. Mattel and Universal are developing a Rock'em Sock'em Robots movie. Vin Diesel's going to star and produce. It's going to be in live action.
Oh,
yeah.
What are those characters walk around? Oh, this is all the time.
It's Diesel says to take the classic Rock'em Sock'em game with Mattel as my partner and align it with the kind of world building, franchise making success we've had with Universal is truly exciting. The story follows a father, Diesel, and a son who form an unlikely bond with an advanced war machine. You know what it sounds like to me? Oh, yeah, that. It sounds like Real Steel. That one with Hugh Jackman.
Real Steel was good. I enjoyed
that was
Real
good.
Steel. Yeah.
That was like
film.
him and his son, they made like a fighting robot.
Yeah, that's
Is it the same fucking thing?
Oh, maybe.
That's weird. But this sounds like shit, though. It does sound like this.
Exactly. And just for the world's worst manager?
Yeah. Hate the sound effects. But Mattel are going all out trying to create like a universe, like a Mattel cinematic universe. They're doing a Barbie film. Margot Robbie's going to be in that one. And they're doing a heist comedy based on Uno. It's led by rapper Lil Yachty. I have no idea who that is. Showing my age, but I have no idea who that is. But there you go. So they're going to have the Uno movie, or the Uno movie, Barbie film, and Rock'em Sock'em Robots. Jeez, no, thank you.
Producing some shit.
Oh, Lord.
Just films we don't really need.
No, exactly right. Oh, well, we'll see. We'll see what they pull out with that. I'm not a huge Vin Diesel fan to begin with. I haven't liked many of the movies that he's done, like Solo. So
Triple X was good. I enjoyed
Triple
that.
X was okay. Riddick they were okay. It's about all he's done, isn't it? So he's okay.
The early Fast and Furious.
Yeah, well, we haven't watched the new one, so we can't.
No. They're just going to be shit anyway.
But everyone loves them. It's like the biggest franchise in Hollywood at the moment. It's
I'll probably love them
Marvel.
because I'm a car guy, so I might enjoy them.
I just think the whole premise of them is just so far from what the original movies were.
Yeah, exactly right.
But everyone loves them. We'll see.
That's another one we've got to do.
Yeah. The new one's out soon, so we'll probably just have to smash out all the other ones, which, again, we've tried multiple times, and we get to the third one and we stop. So we've only ever watched the first, like, 2 or 3.
Just trash.
Anyway, let's do some subscriber questions and round out the pod today.
Awesome.
Hey, we've
cool.
got a small number here today, so
Here's Wacko Jacko,
yeah,
the world's worst manager.
Yeah.
Yep. Delayed question from
Yeah,
last
this one
week.
he wrote in for last week.
It's 420.
Yeah, 420.
What's 420?
4th to 20, the 20th of the
Oh,
4th.
20th of the
but they
4th.
say in America they'd say 420.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's 20th of April
yeah.
this week.
But you have to say 420.
Okay. It's 420 this
Yeah.
week. What is the best stoner movie?
Okay, so 420.
Yeah.
I didn't know this either. You obviously don't know.
No, I don't know.
But 420 is like a slang term that people use for marijuana. It's like a slang term for marijuana.
Okay.
Don't know why. I have no idea. But I kept getting comments. Oh, it's 420, Dave. I'm thinking, what? Like, oh, it's 420. Oh, yeah. And I announced a video for 420. And they're like, oh, he's announced 420. I'm like, what the fuck? So I searched it up. Yeah, it's like some slang term for marijuana. So he's asked, what's the best stoner movie?
Oh, I know what mine is.
What's that?
Dude, where's my car?
Yeah, have to be. Either that or Harold and Kumar Get the Munchies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's fun. Jane Silent Bob.
Oh, yeah, well,
Yeah.
it goes without saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Nah, for me, Dude, where's my
Dude,
car?
where's my car? Yeah.
Blake Eisen?
Yep.
Patreon?
Yep.
Hey, Dave and Old Man Rick. Hey, Blake.
Yep.
I hope all
There
is
you go.
well down in Melbourne.
Well.
On the topic of stop motion films from last week's ep, well, 2 weeks
Couple
ago.
of weeks ago, yeah.
I was wondering what your favourite Leica films are. I also wanted to chime in and say that I think Aardman will keep it going, especially after the success of Shaun the Sheep movies and show. What are some of your favourite stop motion films in general, along with Leica? Keep up the great work as always. Up the Swans.
Yeah. He's, of course, a Sydney follower.
Yeah, well,
There you go.
they beat us by a couple of points, but they were lucky.
Boo. That's obviously why he wrote that, because it was a couple of weeks ago. So obviously
right.
someone wrote in a few weeks ago asking if we like stop motion and if we think it would survive CG animation
Yep, that's
stuff.
right.
And we said probably in small doses. There's really only 2 companies that are doing it at the moment. That's Aardman and Leica. Leica, I don't think we've actually really even watched any of their movies. They did Coraline, Paranorman.
We've watched Coraline.
Yeah, maybe a long time ago.
Yeah.
The Box Trolls.
Found it really creepy.
Yeah. Kubo and the Two Strings and Missing Link. We watched Missing Link recently. There's one
Yeah.
with like the Yeti or whatever.
Yep, that's right.
You know. I would probably say, they assisted in making Corpse Bride as well.
That was good.
And there you go.
Corpse Bride.
They did the stop motion animation in a very Harold and Kumar 3D Christmas.
420.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say probably, I don't know, maybe Coraline or The Missing Link. I really like The Missing Link.
Chicken Run, was that?
No, that's Aardman.
Oh, right. Okay.
But from them, I would say probably, either of those. Apparently Kubo and the Two Strings is amazing, so I have to watch that. And overall, favourite stop motion, I would say, probably Chicken Run, Or the Wallace and Gromit stuff, which I just love.
The original, the first Wallace and Gromit was fantastic.
Yeah, those original shorts.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know this, but it is a Christmas tradition to watch Wallace and Gromit in the UK.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Christmas Day. Like, got to watch Wallace and Gromit.
It's a bizarre thing.
Yeah, I don't know why. Because it's not a Christmas one.
No.
It's just on. It's on TV.
Is it really?
I was like, because Alicia said to me, oh, Wallace and Gromit. I'm like, where's Wallace and Gromit on? She's like, oh, it's a tradition. Everyone watches Wallace and Gromit. You got to watch Wallace and Gromit on Christmas Day. Weird. I don't understand where it's come from.
Oh, it's a little bizarre.
Yeah, there you go.
Are they British? Are they a British company?
It's British, yeah. But there you go. Crazy. Maybe, I don't know, maybe because the original ones were just like short specials. I don't know, maybe if they were originally made as Christmas things and aired on Christmas or...
Oh, yeah, maybe. Maybe they were.
Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, next one.
Nathan McCabe, another Patreon. Hey, Dave and Old Man Rick. Hey, Nathan.
Patreon.
Patreon, that's what...
Oh, you said that, yeah.
I said that.
I don't know.
I think.
I'm out of it. We've been going for 2 hours.
Yes.
This is a good question, actually.
Do you find yourselves being a lot more selective now when purchasing films, now having over 5,000 titles? Also, do you strictly only try to purchase films on Blu-ray and 4K over other formats? I find I myself collect Blu-ray and 4K.
All right, well, firstly, I have to say we just surpassed 6,000 titles last week.
Jesus. Stop spending money, Dave.
Sorry. I get a lot of free ones too, though. I got a bunch
of
them
you
down
got
there.
Shitload of free ones, that's why.
That's got us over the line.
Yep.
So, long story short, no. My spending habits are probably worse now.
Yeah.
Particularly as I do, as I said, I get a lot of stuff for free. I understand it's a privilege to be able to get a lot of that stuff for free. But in my mind...
But a lot of the stuff you get free are older titles and stuff as well.
Yeah, a lot of older titles, but it is also stuff I would have bought myself.
Right, yeah.
So, in my mind, I'm not like, oh, I've saved money. I'm like, well, that money that could have gone to these titles can now go somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
So I end up buying a lot of stuff that, again, either I've been putting off for ages, like the Warner Archive ones I just bought, or stuff that I probably wouldn't have bought. There's a big sale on Criterion, I can spend $300, or a sale on Arrow, I can spend up, a Eureka, whatever. I'm buying going back and buying a lot of stuff that I just never put the money towards in the past now. So probably not more selective. But I think it is at a point now where I've got all the Criterions I want. I've actually got all the Eurekas I want. I've got all the Arrows I want. So gone are the days where I'm going to be placing massive orders for them.
Yep.
Criterion keep releasing stuff, so every year I'll maybe buy 2 or 3 that they've released over the last year. But other than that, and Eureka is actually quite cheap to buy from Eureka's web store, so I buy a lot of stuff as it's released on there now as well.
But I haven't really purchased a lot.
Yeah, I was going to say, you haven't bought anything for a while.
There's not really been anything come out. Anything new come out.
Right.
And even going through like JB, I go looking for stuff, and there's not. So in the end, I just think, oh, what's the use? Because there's nothing I really want that I don't already have.
Yeah. So no, we're not more selective the more that we get. I feel like I'm probably buying more than ever at the moment, or getting more into the collection than ever.
Yeah,
at the moment, which is why it keeps skyrocketing. But no, not more selective, because it's got to a point now where a lot of stuff where you're like, oh, that'll never come out on Blu-ray is coming out on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
A lot of these boutique labels are like bringing out, just plunging these back catalogs.
Yeah. And yes, it's exclusively Blu-ray and 4K, unless you can't get it, and it's something we really want, then we'll buy it on DVD.
Yeah. Usually TV. We used to buy a lot of TV on DVD, but now most that's on streaming, so I don't buy a lot of TV now.
Yeah.
I get a lot of DVDs sent in to me from distributors, but again, that's stuff that's not available on Blu-ray, and I'm like, I wouldn't mind having that in the collection.
Yeah.
Check it out, review.
But it's Blu-ray and 4K, mostly. 4K where we can.
Yeah.
But when we go to buy something that's available on Blu-ray and 4K, well, Dave will always check out the ratings and reviews on the picture and audio.
Yeah.
And if it says it's no greater step up from the Blu-ray,
just buy the Blu-ray.
Exactly right. It'll be $10 cheaper.
Yeah.
So that's what we'll do.
All right, next one.
I don't know. I haven't got the next one.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, what's happened to your page?
I don't know.
That's bizarre. Oh, that is very bizarre.
I don't know what you've done to me.
I don't know. Maybe I forgot to save it and then send it. That happens.
Maybe.
Do you want me to read them?
You read them.
Alex's Movie Corner says, are you a fan of David Lynch? If so, what are your favourite films from him? Thanks, guys.
David Lynch, what has he made?
Really weird shit. I'm not.
He's the one that Michael
Hill loves
him. Yeah.
Like a razor head and all that stuff.
I don't think I'm much of a fan of.
There's 3 movies of his I really like, and the rest of it I would never watch, or I would never watch again. Mulholland Drive I really liked. The Elephant Man.
Elephant Man's great.
I feel like the Elephant Man's probably the most mainstream thing he ever did, even though it's maybe not quite mainstream, but it almost feels very different to the rest of his stuff. And then Blue Velvet as well, which was just a fantastic movie. They're my 3 David Lynch films.
Yeah.
Good luck finding anything on there because he's directed so many short films.
You're not wrong.
It was impossible for me to actually find movies listed on there.
Yeah. Twin Peaks.
But stuff
TV.
like Twin Peaks and
Elephant
Eraserhead and all that kind of weird shit.
Yeah, no, there's not really much there that I could say I'm a big fan of.
So not huge fans.
But I mean, Elephant Man was a great film.
Yeah.
That's about all, really.
Yeah. Kennedy's Foe asks, fastball question. What Australian actor could you see playing the next James Bond?
Jackman.
Hugh Jackman, yeah. That'd be cool, like an older James Bond.
Really suave.
I guess the other ones were older guys anyway. It's never really been a young James Bond.
It's always like that 40
other
or 50.
than Daniel Craig, who's played it quite young. And then
I thought he was shit playing it anyway.
You hate him, yeah.
Yep.
I would say my pal, my best buddy, Josh Lawson.
Actually, no, he would be good too.
Yeah, I reckon.
He would be good.
I'll get you to read this one.
But for me, Jackson is Hugh Jackman. It's Jackson. Hugh Jackman would be the one.
All right, here we go.
Okay, Walther Saucer again.
Can you read that?
Yeah, I can read that.
Okay, Walther Saucer, our buddy, who always sends in like a big list of movies and asks if we've seen them.
Righto. So this week, he wants to know, have you seen movies like Gifted?
Yes. Wait.
Which one was Gifted?
I don't know. Look it up.
Let me have a look.
Gifted. I think so. I know the name, but I can't. Was that Chris Evans? Was that the one where he had the daughter?
Chris Evans, yeah.
Yeah,
Chris
there you
Evans.
go. The one where he had the daughter. Yes.
Yes. Yep. Slumdog Millionaire?
Yes.
$1 Million Baby?
Yes.
The Fighter?
Yes.
Walk the Line?
Yeah,
Lost
many
in
times.
Translation. Walk the Line's great. Lost in Translation?
Yes.
Brilliant film.
Mm-hmm.
The Sandlot?
Yeah. That was the Little Rascals was named
Oh,
the
right,
Sandlot.
yeah,
The Sandlot overseas. Oh, wait, no, it was a different... No, it was a different thing. That did have a different name over here, though. The Sandlot. Maybe it was called the Sandlot Kids here, and overseas it was called the Sandlot. I don't know.
The Sandlot Kids, it comes up as
I think that's the title here, and then overseas it was the Sandlot. Right, next.
Capote?
Yes.
Waltz with Bashir?
Eh?
Waltz with Bashir?
Never heard of it.
Gone with the Wind?
Yes.
I've not sat through the whole thing.
Really?
Never.
It's a hard one to get through.
Oh, just can't do it. Palm Springs?
Yeah.
Philadelphia?
Great film. Yeah.
Girls Trip?
Yes. What was it? I watched it with Alicia. You might not have seen it. They go on a girls' trip.
I think I have.
remember.
I think I have seen it.
I definitely watched it with Alicia overseas. I feel like it had like Queen Latifah.
Yeah, that's
Tiffany Haddish. I can't remember who else was in it.
Regina Hall.
Yeah.
Jada Pinkett's. Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
It was all right. I liked it.
Child's Play.
No, I've never watched the Chucky films.
Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
Yep.
The Art of Self-Defense.
Don't think so. No.
Birds.
The Birds.
Just Birds.
Oh. Is that, I don't know if that's Birds or The Birds. If it's The Birds, Hitchcock, absolutely, a million times. But if it's one, I don't know if there's one just called Birds. No. Okay,
Probably
so The Birds, yes.
This is Spinal Tap.
Yeah, I've seen that. It wasn't huge on it. Maybe I've got to rewatch it.
Overhyped, I reckon.
Yeah.
Freaky.
No, I haven't seen that
know,
yet.
don't
That's Vince Vaughn. It's like a body swap movie.
Oh, that's
It's
right.
almost like you remember the hot chick where
Yeah.
what was his name? Rob Schneider goes into a female,
Yeah.
but he's like a grown man that goes into a female body, but it's like a slasher horror comedy film.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be quite good.
The King of Staten Island. No,
not
but I
yet.
want to see
I wanna
that.
see that one.
The Nice Guys.
Yes.
The Nice Guys or My Neighbour. What's this?
Oh yeah, The Nice Guys or My Neighbor Totoro,
Oh, right.
which is a Studio Ghibli film. I haven't seen that one.
No.
There you go.
That's it.
That's the end of the show. 2 hours long today. Pretty good.
Trying to get some lunch, Dave.
I'm starving, man. So hungry. How's is it's all dry over there?
Yeah, no, we're all okay.
Good. That is all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks again to JBL for sponsoring the podcast. I believe this is the last week.
Last one.
The last week that JBL is sponsoring. So thanks again for sponsoring.
So we need a new sponsor.
Yeah.
For another month.
More sponsors, please email me at daveleepod@gmail.com or daveleedownunder@gmail.com, whatever. And we want some sponsors. The podcast, of course, goes out every single Monday on all podcasting platforms, including Apple, Google, Spotify, Amazon Music, and Audible. The visual element is also available on YouTube. That goes out 2 days early to Patreon supporters. So if you want to support the channel for as little as $1 a month, head to patreon.com/DaveLeeDownUnder. Don't forget, video podcasts are on a brand new channel as well. So they've all migrated across to a new channel. You can find me on YouTube at Dave Lee Down Under, over on Twitter, Instagram. There's links in the description of every podcast on all the podcast platforms. So click on through and you're there. If you want to write into the show, again, you can shoot an email to daveleepod@gmail.com. And if you're listening on the podcast platforms, please leave a rating and a review.
Just good ones.
Just the good ones. Only the good ones, because they're good. They're good. And
Yeah,
they
exactly
help.
right.
YouTube preview. Last week, I dropped my... pardon me, Speedy Gonzalez Cartoon Evolution.
Yep.
It's going all right. Go and check that one out if you haven't seen it yet. It's only a Cartoon Evolution short, so it's like a 17 or 18 minute video, I think, that one.
Cool.
So you can go and check that one out. I won't be doing a voice evolution for a couple of months because Gabriel Iglesias, the comedian Fluffy,
Yep.
he's doing the voice in Space Jam 2. We don't have any sound clips yet, so once the film's out, whatever, I will do the video, the voice evolution, and it's given me enough time now. I've just started on my next one, which is going to come out probably in a week or two. Probably 2 weeks, more likely
Awesome.
2 weeks. I'm very excited. It's going to get out very early.
Have you announced who that is?
Haven't announced it yet, but I will very, very soon. Of course, my review for Mortal Kombat is up on the channel. My interview with Josh Lawson and Sisi Stringer is up on the channel if you want to go and watch that. A couple of bits of cartoon news and stuff on there as well. This coming week, or this week that we're in right now, I haven't actually got anything planned. I'm sure there'll be a couple of news bits and stuff that'll come along, but that's about it. So no huge videos this week, other than no, because the Mythic Quest interview will be Mystic Quest.
No, there's something
What
else
did you
I
call it? Can't remember.
Something Quest. I can't
Oh,
remember.
Space Quest or something. I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh no, Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy Quest. Yeah, keep calling it Galaxy Quest.
Mythic. So the Mythic Quest interview will be next week. So anyway, thanks so much for listening, and thanks, old mate Rick, for joining me once again.
Thanks, Dave.
And
Thanks for listening, guys.
See you later.
See
Take
you
it
next
easy.
week.